to your Wednesday edition of Runescape Weekly. I did not expect the music to dip that much. It's just like just an utter silent greetings and then just nothing. Let me unmute myself in Discord. Oh goodness, welcome to today's episode of Runescape Weekly. How you doing, DX? What's up?
I hate daylight savings ending.
Has daylight savings finally ended for Australia?
Yes, it has for the eastern part of Australia. Now we've gone an hour backwards. It's right now 11 PM over here.
Yes.
My body doesn't really get used to the daylight savings ending until the next daylight savings begins.
Right.
You know what I mean?
You're finally used to it right as it switches again, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
That tends to be how it is. Although you've fallen back because you're springing forward. My apologies. What are you doing here? You falling back or springing forward?
We went backwards.
You're falling back, right? So that means it's actually earlier for you than it was previously, right?
Yeah, it used to be like 1 AM when the show started.
Yeah, so now it's like 11 o'clock for you right now. Is that in the evening?
Yes, it is 11 PM Eastern.
Nice. So you are not falling asleep, at least hopefully at this point yet.
I've got my Pepsi next to me somewhere. I just hope I don't drink it all before the show starts.
Well, that's you never know. We do have quite a good docket for today's show. If you want to check it out, it's notes.runeweek.com to get to our show notes page here. But we don't need to stay in the pre-show for very long here. The notes are already ready and constructed. And holy crap, a lot of hatred on the Slayer update this week. So we'll be getting into that, of course. We'll be getting into lots of things here momentarily. I'm not sure if we're gonna have Harley on the show today. I have her name on the docket, but don't see her in Discord. So,
and as you say that, she's just appeared on Discord.
Cool. That is what kind of black magic is that? Hey, it's Death Star. Hey, Death Star.
Black magic.
It's been a while. Welcome back.
Yeah, we really can't judge the quote mystery update of this month because you and I both haven't tried it yet. We really should try it before we really make a judgment on it.
Yeah, when I speak of it, I'm mainly going to be just talking about it from a numbers perspective, from what it looks like on paper. But yeah, you know me. I'm not much of a combatant or even I specifically don't like Slayer. Slayer and Engineering are probably my least favorite skills in the game. So I just, I definitely haven't wanted to do it. But again, one of my other excuses for not jumping head on into the new update is I am closing in, DX. I am in the home run, the home stretch here. I have 7 million experience to go, and I can't stop. I can't stop, and sir, I will not stop. I can't stop. I won't stop.
Which skill are you closing in on?
Of course, Divination. I have 7 million XP to go on 120 Divination, and I am hardcore in the Eastern Islands. I have spent probably about 100,000 chimes in the past week on just going from Uncharted Isle to Uncharted Isle, and just jumping about. Say Harley 3 times fast, and she appears behind you. Hey. Awesome. We do have, of course, PVM Perspectives view on the Gemstone Dragons as well. So Harley and David will get a chance to do their little thing. They have a pre-recorded segment coming up as well, and so many posts in regards to Gemstone Dragons. The hate is real. Anyways, we're gonna jump into the show. No need to really dilly-dally any longer here. If you want to get your Magebucks, of course, DIZK is the Magebucks code for today. Otherwise,
in other words, dicks.
Yes. You know what? It generated 2 Magebucks codes that I deemed inappropriate before I went with that one. So you can only imagine the other ones.
Close to becoming inappropriate as well.
Yeah, the other ones were even closer to being inappropriate before I re-rolled them. So you can only imagine what may have come up. Anyway, I'm just double checking here. Yes. All right. Looks like the docket is solid. And I'm gonna get the volume to about 30% for the music here, and keep an eye on Facebook for me because I'm about to play my licensed music that they're confused about still. So hopefully we won't get cut on Facebook while I'm reading through the intro. Anyway, let's do this, shall we? In 3, 2, 1. You're listening to RuneScape Weekly for 4/5/2017. I'm your host Magebit with over 15 years of RuneScape experience. Joining me today is Dxthelb and Harley. And on today's show, NXT Update is coming, Gemstone Dragons and documentary air date, PVM Perspective QuickCast, Gemstone Dragon's hilariously bad? Gemstone Dragon changes? How to fix Gemstone Dragons? Gemstone Armor suggestion? Gemstone Armor charging? Favorable Slayer mechanics? Am I welcome in RuneScape? Hazelmere's Signet on rare drop table proof? Is Jagex Elist-based? And earn Runecoins, more like earn a headache. Thank you for tuning into this edition of Runescape Weekly, and enjoy the show. Welcome back for your Wednesday edition of RuneScape Weekly. Magebit here. We got quite the show for you today. I am quite excited to talk about all of the Gemstone Dragon chaos, if you will, at this point. It feels like chaos, DX, does it not? It feels like everyone is just hating on these monsters purely because of their drop tables. But I say that they're more than their drop tables, and we'll talk about that coming up pretty soon in the show. But before we begin, let's check in. DX, how you doing? Welcome. How you feeling today?
I'm doing pretty good. Like I said earlier on in the pre-show, I'm adjusting to like the daylight savings ending. 'Cause right now it's 11 o'clock at night, but when the show used to start for me, it was already starting at like 1 a.m. and by that time I'm half a zombie. So, but apart from that, I've actually spent a lot of time on the Ark in the last couple of weeks. So I've now spotted all the birds.
Nice.
I've done all the mini quests. And now I'm starting to crossbreed the berries.
Very nice. Yeah, I'm crossbreeding my berries as well. I'm trying to get up to the better berries. I don't really know what the combinations of berries are, and I've been keeping myself kind of in the dark. I don't know why. I've just been kind of just doing things as they come, just trying to figure them out myself. And yeah, I think mainly because it's not a comp requirement. It's just its own little thing. And I've spent so much time in the Ark that I don't know. That's just my excuse. It's just like, it'll all get unlocked eventually, I think.
Yeah, that picture you put on Discord earlier on looked pretty sweet.
Yeah.
Is that where you've been camping out?
That was an adorable little picture we tossed. I tossed into the general chat of discord.runeweek.com. I was just going from Uncharted Isle to Uncharted Isle, and I came across this little like bandit camp that was just kind of constructed on the isle. But a divination node had spawned like right in the camp, so there were just these wisps all nestled in this like pirate camp. It was really quite adorable to look at, and it was probably my favorite island that I've been to in quite some time. But yeah. Pretty cool. Yeah, daylight savings time is so silly, Mr. Killer Bunny. I completely agree with the fact that there's just it's so weird that like all over the world. I really think we need to just get rid of daylight savings time and come up with something a little more universal, considering daylight doesn't dictate our lives like it used to when daylight savings time was a thing. Anyway, DX, would you like to grab some of our PSAs?
Okay, the minigame spotlight is currently on Barbarian Assault. The Circus is currently at Rimmington. A free Solomon General Store item for April is the bunny tail. Go figure.
Oh yeah, nice one.
And also the clan skill of the month competition is Dungeoneering, which is one of your favorite skills.
Yes, I let everyone kind of pick what they wanted, and like 4 people were like, "Do Dungeoneering." I'm like, "Fine."
Well, it's either that or do Slayer. I would have just trolled you again.
Yeah, right. So yeah, we're doing Dungeoneering. First place wins 10 million. Second place wins 5 million. Third place wins 1 million. So there are 3 different win levels, if you will, and you need to be a member of the clan to achieve any of them. So if you want to join the clan, clan.runeweek.com is our Rune Clan page. Check it out. And if you want to
I'm currently 45th and I haven't done anything yet.
Yeah, right. the convenience of ranking people purely by what letter their name starts with has definitely ranked you much higher than me. And you beat Pern.
You're gonna rename yourself to like Age Bit now or something. That way you get a higher rank.
Triple Age Bit, just AAA. Hey Zeno, how you doing?
There you go, Zeno.
Just in time to jump into the show. Before I do jump into the show, let me quickly just thank Rune Group, runegroup.uk, our Facebook sponsor. They have made our Facebook stream possible. So thank you very much to runegroup.uk. Go and check them out, especially if you have Facebook. And let's be honest, who doesn't have Facebook these days? So runegroup.uk, you can Scapeify your RuneScape feed with some quality RuneScape content. That's runegroup.uk. And they also have a Discord group. Maybe you don't want your Facebook feed tossed full of RuneScape stuff, but let's be honest, of course you do. But if you don't, you can also join their Discord. There's a link available at runegroup.uk. Hope to see you there. Anyway.
You're not going to believe this, mate. Before we get into it, Modern In has just released the new Jagex logo.
Oh,
It
really?
looks absolutely terrible.
wow.
It's in hashtag live.
What is this? This is really... All right, I gotta put this up
This
on
just
stream.
came out a couple of minutes ago.
I gotta
A
put
couple
this
of
up.
moments ago.
This is really interesting. And for those of you who know me, I use the word interesting in place of generally swear words.
I don't know if Mage did that particular logo, but Xenol probably might have.
I mean, the logo in and of itself is kind of cool to look at. It just, to me, doesn't... I don't know. I'm so used to the old logo. I don't know what to think about this. I have to really kind of let this sink in. They have 4 different kind of examples of it. It looks really kind of... there's like a specific... It looks skater. It looks skater. Can I say that? It looks like this should be the brand of a clothing line for 15-year-old skate punks. And I'm not saying I don't like it. Doesn't mean I don't like it. Did you make it? It looks cool, but it doesn't look like a game company's logo, and I don't know. I have to say it's edgy. If they were going for
It
like
looks
edgy,
more like an X to me.
it does. Well, I mean, there is an X in the,
Yeah, there's only one X.
So
in
what
Jagex,
I'm
okay?
seeing here, like, right? I also kind of see the YMCA logo in there a little bit. I don't know about that.
Someone play the village people really quick.
Here's what it looks like to me. All right, stand back, open your eyes, open your mind. It kind of looks like a butterfly a little bit, right? The logo. If you, I'm looking mainly at the top left example here, and I apologize to audio listeners, but I'll try to describe it to you. It's basically what is that E sign in math? I don't know. Is that the Disney logo? Yeah. I don't.
It doesn't look like a mouse, does it?
What is the E sign in math? Is that like Omega? I forget what that is, but it looks like 2 of those E signs that you'd see in math, the jagged E's, facing each other, kind of facing inwards, with a diagonal line connecting their tops and bottoms together, making like an X. But then that forms like a Y and a K. I don't know. I see E3, says Mr. Money. I see a butterfly. I see I don't know. I see 2 Easter Island heads talking. I really see the YMCA logo, and I can't unsee that.
I'm gonna have a look at YMCA logo now, just for all.
Just look at the Y and the YMCA logo, and then look at that picture. I will include this picture, by the way. I'll include a link to this.
Yeah, you're right. I see it. Yeah, I
Right?
definitely see it now. You're right.
I'm gonna dump a link
This
to
is
this
insane.
into the show notes, notes.runeweek.com, if you want to see it. It'll be right at the end.
Oh, please play the Village People's YMCA while you're doing this.
I
I
would
mean,
like
that's not going to get flagged any
Yeah,
copyright,
yeah,
surely.
it's like, I'd like to not get taken down if I can avoid it. I'll copy the article. This actually comes tied with an article, gamesindustry.biz. How new is this article?
Yes.
Maybe we'll save it.
It's just new. It's just been posted.
We'll save this then.
Yeah, it's just been posted like 12 minutes ago. Actually.
I have to say that's an
So that's
interesting
very
logo.
new.
That's an interesting logo. I'm sure Reddit will have plenty of things to say about it once they get wind of its release. Good
Yeah,
find.
give it like 10 minutes before people start raging like we are.
Use the disproportionate gaps. It really doesn't sit well in your eyes. Yeah, I kind of agree. I mean, it's possible that was an April Fool's joke. But the article
No,
came
because
out
it's too
today.
late for that. It's too late for that, man. Isn't that bad luck if you like do an
Yeah.
April Fool's joke and it's not an April Fool's
Did
Day?
they post this article literally today, or was this posted like 5
Yeah,
days
they
ago?
literally posted it today.
Okay.
This was who posted this link?
Just gotta check.
I just need to go back for a bit.
Always want to make sure that I'm. Oh,
Yeah, this was actually posted by on Twitter by GI Biz. Which is Games Industry, which is a verified link.
Of course, it's getting a lot of negative feedback on Twitter. I assume that, I mean, anytime there's going to be change involved in a long-standing logo, there's going to be hate. I'm not going to say that I hate that logo, but it certainly just doesn't feel Jagexy to me. It looks way too edgy.
Wow.
And it also
I
kind
wouldn't
of
be
looks...
surprised if the RuneScape website changes in the next 20 or so minutes with this new logo.
I mean, this looks like something I'd expect from, like, 2006, like, GeForce. Like, this looks like something I'd see on, like, a GeForce package. In like I don't know, it just feels very edgy, gamery, like
You
direct
know what? You're right about that,
glowy.
too.
I don't like it. But then again, I'm a 29-year-old RPG specific gamer that is very set in his ways. So, you know, I'm not going to judge it any more than the fact that I think it's just a little too edgy for what RuneScape represents. But hey, to each their own, right? I suppose. Anyway, shall we jump into the news, DX? We have some updates on the NXT client, which was supposed to receive an update this week, but was postponed. And Mod Shawnee has the details here for us, coming from Reddit. Shawnee says, "Hey all, we will be releasing our next version of the NXT 2.2.4 on Monday with lots of great improvements. Any players who are currently on NXT 2.2.2 or lower will be unable to play RuneScape on that NXT client until they update. You still will see the auto-update message, however you will receive an error stopping you from playing the game until you update." So this is a forced update from 2.2.2 to 2.2.4. So how do you check your version of NXT? When launching the NXT client, you can check out the version number in the bottom right-hand corner. The numbers that there will indicate your client version. Currently, if you're on 2.2.2, you'll be prompted to download the latest update. We're planning to release NXT 2.2.4 as part of Monday's normal update. If you're using 2.2.2, you're not sure what version you're using, please go to the website and download the available update. So what's new? They have kind of a little... This is basically your patch notes right here.
This was supposed to be the patch notes for this week.
This is like pseudo patch notes segment, because we're basically going to talk about what's changed in NXT, and I'll do my best to read through this quickly, since a lot of these are technical. So first up, fix a crash that sometimes happens when a mass amount of players and locations overlap. Removed a launcher frame. Changes to the client to deal with its own window, including save, restore position, scrolling, access to launcher options, etc. So finally, maybe it will remember where you, what size you left it at. That would be freaking... Fixes to OS X and Linux crash reporting. Added the ability to turn off terrain blending, something that a lot of people have been waiting for, is the ability to turn off terrain blending and ground decor for you individuals on lower-end machines. Reduced RAM and video memory, which is surprising considering I thought it was already pretty low, so that's pretty good. Optimized script functions, reduced VRAM usage, fixed audio-related crashes, added compression. This is a big one. They added compression to the dizk, which reduced the size from 12 gigabytes down to 3 to 4. So that's a lot of disk space they're saving you right there.
That's amazing compression.
Yeah,
what do you suppose they're using? PK Zip?
I have no idea.
Is that
but
you remember PK Zip?
I do remember PKs. I used some really weird zip compression technologies back in the day to try to get around the fact that I had a dial-up modem. I was like, how can I compress this 2 gigabyte game and get it over to this computer over here? Yeah. I
was always stumped by how amazing they could do some of the compressions. Like a 4 gig file would be down to a 720k disk. I'm like, what the hell? The 1.44 meg.
Oh man, yeah, you'd have to I would be trying to fit all of my quality scientific images on floppy disks for later viewing offline. Yeah, it was
trying to compress JPEGs. Yeah, good luck.
Yeah, trying to compress JPEGs is a nightmare. So anyway, as a one-off, you are recommended to leave your client open at the login screen for 30 minutes to apply the compression without slowing down your gameplay. So again, you're going to get optimized performance of the disk cache, up to 7 times faster. They're optimizing the performance of loading machines on non-SSD machines, so if you're not using a solid-state drive in your machine, you should see loading times improved pretty soon. I agree, Hampshire. It is pretty apprentice level as far as that goes. Reduced RAM usage by 50 megabytes. That may not seem like a lot, but for those of you running not a lot of RAM, that can be significant still. Fixed a crash that would primarily occur during disk cache download at high speed or bad connection to the server during gameplay. Added a minimum width and height to the NXT client. Fixed a freeze some players experience after relogging from the lobby. Fixed particles from looking too washed out. Red particles will no longer look pink. Fixed an issue that resulted in hint markers to sometimes cause freezing and crashing, Fist of Gothics or Castle Wars being an example. Fixed an issue with low-spec machines crashing before startup. Fixed inconsistent normals, and fixed a race condition with audio. So there you go. That's what's coming on Monday for your NXT client updates.
I wonder if they're gonna fix the arrow pointing when you go towards the cabbage paste punch bonanza, because if you set the arrow, it actually sets you to where it used to be, not where it is now, which is in the game as Grotto.
That's just mean. You just end up like, hello? Where is everybody?
And just for the record, that Jagex, that new logo, is not a hoax. I just visited jagex.com and the logo's all over it.
Yeah, everyone in Discord live chat is basically it's like, it looks amateur. It's like, well, it very well could be amateur. Maybe they let one of their interns design it. Who cares? It's just, it's their corporate logo. Not many people even get to see their corporate logo. So I'm not.
I reckon it looks like an X though.
I don't. It doesn't look Jagex-y at all. But it's not gonna kill the company or anything like that. Speaking of killing the company, though, let's talk about bad updates, shall we? I'm just kidding, by the way. But
What a great segue.
I figured it would be a timely segue. This is the Gemstone Dragon update, as well as a little bit of information on when the documentary will air. So let's jump into that, shall we? So Gemstone Dragons! Gemstone Dragons are ready and ripe for the slaying in RuneScape today. Face off against 3 varieties of fearsome beasts and pick up resplendent new gemstone armor. We'll also be airing the RuneScape documentary at the weekend. See the live streaming section for details, which we'll talk about coming up in a second here. So these new Slayer Dragons, of course, require 95 plus Slayer to fight, being the lowest one is 95, and it goes up from there. They also require the Shiloh Village quest, Hard Karamja tasks, and killing without a Slayer assignment requires a Dragonstone Onyx or Hydrix as payment for the dragons, which I honestly thought was an interesting mechanic, and everyone completely shit on it, and I'll talk about that in a little bit here.
I like them. I like the idea of that. You have to pay if you want, unless you get a Slayer requirement. You have to pay for it.
Unless the Slayer Master's like, go kill these, then you have to give some sort of offering to kill them. I feel like that adds value to their.
It's just like the Curator Dungeon, man. You need a Curator Dungeon Slayer task. Have somebody in the Curator Slayer task to actually enter that Slayer task to go for those particular monsters.
To be fair, this does take it one step further, of course, because you don't have to have a task to fight these, whereas in Curator's Dungeon, of course, you do have to have a task. But it borrows that mechanic of Curator's Dungeon, where it's like, okay, there is going to be a cost associated with doing these monsters when you have not been told to, and I personally thought that was a really interesting mechanic on paper. Maybe it's horrible in practice. I haven't had a chance to actually go and try it. Excuse me, I'm losing my voice there. But I liked that idea on paper. Like, as an RPG, connoisseur, that information and idea sounded like a really novel idea. So let's read on here. So it says, head down beneath Shiloh Village and find the new Gemstone Dragon Cavern. Its entrance is manned by Kelhar. If you have a Gemstone Dragon Slayer assignment from Curdle or Morvern, he'll let you right through. Otherwise, you'll need to pay a fee in an uncut Dragonstone, 2 kills per gem, Onyx, 400 kills per gem, or Hydrix, 4,000 kills per gem, to enter and slay the dragons therein. So at the very least, like, if you're dropping a 30 million gold gem, like a Hydrix, you get to kill 4,000 of them. Are you ever going to make that money back off task? Hell no. And I'm okay with that. I don't think every monster off of a Slayer task needs to make money. But there is a problem, of course, there on the flip side that we're going to get to coming up. Slayer levels are 95 for Dragonstone Dragons, 98 for Onyx Dragons, and no less than 101 for Hydrix Dragons. To reach this lofty level before Menaphos, you'll need a boost. A great option is the new Wilder Pie, which requires 90 cooking to make, and requires an uncooked wild pie and ground Dragonstone. It boosts range by 5 and Slayer by 6, and the Slayer boost will not deplete for 6 minutes after the pie is eaten, meaning more time to grapple with the biggest beasts of the herd. So, I really was hoping this was going to spike Dragonstone prices to, like, ridiculous heights, and it may have temporarily, but unfortunately, due to the monster's lackluster appeal to PVMers and Slayers, Dragonstone costs did not go through the roof. Mr. Killer Bunny says, I don't mind the cost. 2 kills for the 11K uncut Dragonstone, and you are going to get a 7,500 Adamant Dragon Bone, so you make your money back every time. So if the bones are 7,500 each, you kill 2 of them, right? That will definitely make you your money back. Or if you've gotten these gems from, non-purchasable means, like if they've dropped as a monster drop, come out of the door of an instinct aura like they do for me so often. Excuse me. Then these gems that you're paying may not even have a price. They may just be items you've collected along your journey that instead of turning into money, you're trading in for, more fun, as in you're killing these monsters for your own enjoyment and possible loot. So,
and also, I just want to mention, they'll talk about the Wilder Pie, right? If you want to make it from scratch, it requires at least an uncooked rabbit, uncooked bear, and uncooked chompy meat.
Yeah.
So there are the 3 main ingredients there, and you just put all that together the same way you would put a normal pie and then cut a Dragonstone and then put the Dragonstone. I think it was like cook the wild pie and then put the Dragonstone over the top. Something like that. But
point being,
Point
being, I think if you, I believe if you went chompy hunting pre-update, you made a pretty
No,
good
no, no,
profit.
no. I went after the update. So I was
Oh,
like,
yeah?
because I was gonna like, I had 4 Dragonstones at the time, so it also gives you a inspiration to actually go up to Chompies again, because I think that is a completionist thing,
Yeah,
isn't it?
it's trimmed,
You got to
but
kill like
yes.
4,000 something.
Yeah, trimmed requirement, but a requirement nonetheless, sure.
So yeah, that gives you another reason to actually go Chompy hunting again.
Yeah, indeed. If these dragons can hold popularity, which they're having some trouble doing so. And to talk about that in a much more articulate sense than I could ever do so, we're going to jump over to the PVM Perspective crew. The people who do know what they're talking about when it comes to combat. So I will go ahead. We're going to play a quick little audio file here for you that Harley and David have recorded, and I'm going to try and not lose my freaking voice over here. With spring does come unfortunate side effects in the realm of my voice. Anyway, let's play the file, shall we?
I'm Harley.
I'm David.
Welcome to another PVM Perspective QuickCast. Today we are covering the PVM patch notes and updates for the week of 4/3/2017. The first thing we have on our list is Telos bug fixes, and why don't you tell us about that, David?
Yeah, so there was a fairly significant Telos bug fix in this week's patch notes. Essentially, there was a transition from Phase 4 to Phase 5, in which if you received an anima bomb as the transition occurred, which can hit extremely high, absent defensives at even a moderately high in rage, it can hit 8, 9k, even more, especially at high in rages. What would happen is you would transition from Phase 4 to Phase 5 as the animation started, and as soon as that transition animation ended, you would receive the hit from the anima bomb with no defensives. Many people have signed or died to this, and it's not the only transition problem. The even more significant one is from Phase 3 to Phase 4. There's also a bomb where during the animation, it will still hit you after the transition from 3 to 4 has ended. And essentially, for people who are consistently really excellent at Telos and die very infrequently, this is the most common cause for people to lose their streaks, and it's functionally a bug. And so hopefully this is a sign that the other phase transitions will be corrected, but one can only hope. It's extremely frustrating to lose a long streak to what is quite literally just a bug that should never occur.
Yeah, that would definitely be frustrating. That is a good update. I think didn't they fix some in like last week's patch notes or something?
Yeah, there were also some fixes in last week's patch notes as well. But there have been videos of people since last week's patch notes who still showed that they've died from the Phase 3 to Phase 4 delayed hit transition, which currently seems to be the most deadly.
Okay, that is unfortunate, but yeah, I'm glad to know that they're at least working on it, because yeah, phase transition bugs are terrible. I haven't done Telos yet, so I haven't run into it, but that definitely sounds like a good change to me.
Yeah, and there's literally nothing you could do except hope that you have a sign of life that's on.
All right. Well, we will move on to our next topic, which is actually about the update that came out this week, the Gemstone Dragons. And David, I'll let you kind of talk about your experience with them.
Yeah, so I had some relative Gemstone Dragons. I had to do the tasks in order to access them, which was good because I'm going for CompCape currently. And I had to spend a lot of Slayer points. And interestingly, this has been an issue that's been raised on the forums, is that oftentimes there's an early bird bonus or tasks are weighted more, so there's a better chance to get tasks after they come out. But either the weighting is pretty low or a lot of people have just gotten unlucky. I had to spend about 500 points canceling tasks in order to get one. I know people who had to spend over 1,000 points canceling tasks in order to get one of these tasks. So I'm not sure what the issue is there, but that's a little annoying, and hopefully it's not a sign of things to come in the future. But anyways, I eventually got a task, and I did all of mine at Jagex dragons. I killed about 90 of them, and they were okay. The XP was pretty mediocre, much lower than an average task that one would normally do from Morvan, including some of the AFK ones like Dark Beasts or Abyssal Demons, for example, are far more XP than Jagex Dragons will be. And those tasks are also more money than Jagex Dragons, especially when you account for their being relatively difficult to kill. So you need somewhat good gear and also the charge of at least 6 to 7k per kill when you factor in sacrificing either an Onyx or a Hydrix. I think most people are not sacrificing Dragon Stones. That's seems to be pretty inefficient way to do it, at least right now with current prices. Although maybe that'll change in the future.
Well, I thought from what I saw on Reddit that Dragonstones were actually the cheapest, like from
price
wise at least.
Sure. That's true with GE prices, but everybody bought so many Dragonstones over the weekend that they're much higher than they should be. That will probably even out over time, especially since they drop quite a few Dragonstones. But I just spent an Onyx because I had a bunch of Onyxes in my bank, and so I just used an Onyx because that was cheaper for me than to use Dragonstones because I didn't have any that were, and I didn't really feel like cutting any Dragonstones because I feel like that's just is losing money. But anyways, best case scenario, it's about 6k in order to kill them. Loss. And so with the current drops, even if you do pick up the bones, which of course cuts into your XP efficiency even more, they're pretty bad in terms of money and truly awful in terms of XP. And I felt like I was killing them pretty quickly. I felt the mechanics were easy, much easier than any of the level 96 elite mobs were. The only difficulty that I could foresee from the special attack is not that it's too quick, because it's actually quite slow, but because the spikes are roughly the same color as the background, or they're both very dark, it's quite hard to see, which was a little bit frustrating and definitely takes some time to deal with. Currently, I'll be skipping them or putting them on my block list if either XP or GP doesn't get boosted for them.
I haven't had a chance to do them yet, but from the videos I watched, I don't know, they look like a fun monster to fight for me, not too hard as far as mechanics go. It is unfortunate that they messed up the coloring again. I don't know, it seems to be something Jagex does way too often, whether they put something that is like the same color as the surroundings around it as an attack or as a drop. Like at God Wars 2, the seals that you get from each of the bosses, like it's basically the exact same color as the floor. So like if that's the only drop you get, they can be super hard to find sometimes. You basically have to use your mini map. So I wish they would be a little bit more aware and careful about that, and the stuff should be easy to spot when a special attack is coming. It shouldn't be something that you can't see.
Yeah, exactly. And one thing I did like is as long as you avoid the specials, essentially 0 food is required. So it was pretty easy to just use Blood Essence and kill them quite fast. The unfortunate part is, despite how quickly I felt like I was killing them, I was getting very poor XP as a reward for that.
Yeah, I would really like to see them buff at least the Hydrix ones to a semi-decent XP, because I feel like the fact that they are over 99, they should be at the start of a good XP curve. And I mean, like right now you have to put so much work into it too, as far as like having the Wilder Pies.
Oh yeah, it's totally obnoxious. Honestly, the Wilder Pies thing, it feels gimmicky, obnoxious, and very, very little reward, because it's not like it's a great amount of XP or more profit or anything like that. It's just annoying.
I can't see how it's like that gimmicky compared to, I haven't done it yet, but overloads, like it's basically the same thing. It's just a 2-dose instead of a 6. But I think to me the main problem is the fact that the drops, neither the drops or the XP basically reward that effort that you put in, which is unfortunate. And I think the nice thing is, I think that I think they have the monsters down pretty well, beyond the fact that the special could apparently be more easily recognized, and they have the area down there, like it looks super beautiful down there. So the hard stuff is done. So I think that they over the next few weeks will be able to tune the drops to a better, more worth doing level, I would hope.
Yeah, I hope so. And if it's not fixed in the next 2 weeks, I'll be blocking.
All right, fair enough. Well, we'll throw you back to the main RuneScape Weekly show then.
Thank you very much, Harley. Annoying, gimmicky, some have even called them hilariously bad. is what these Slayer monsters are even being referred to on Reddit. Specifically quoting Runecape. I apologize if I'm not pronouncing that correctly, but this has got a lot of upvotes on Reddit, which surprises me. They term this hilariously bad for an update, and I feel like that's a pretty big statement to make, right? Like, hilariously
I think it's
bad?
too soon to be calling it hilariously bad. It's only been out for a couple of days. I mean, give it time to see. If there's anything they need to buff or nerf and stuff like that, they'll do it next week.
I mean, yeah, they've obviously addressed the fact that these are not up to par on certain things. The fact that they don't make XP or money is a concern to me. You have to have one of those, right? You either need to be an XP maker or a money maker. You can't be neither of those. Nor, you have to fit into your tier as well. A 101 Slayer monster shouldn't be extremely, worse than a 95 Slayer monster. That just seems kind of silly. It's like these monsters should be getting harder and either more XP or more money than their previous counterparts. So that is what David was saying. That is kind of a concern. Let me run into this post here, and we'll see exactly why Runecape says these are hilariously bad. Do you think they will ever make you go against Slayer mobs higher level than you when it comes to a master skill? I hope so, Hampshire. I hope eventually. I mean, technically we have Reaper, right? And those make you go against monsters that are, stronger than you, I guess. But are they really stronger than you? I don't know. Anyway, let's see here. Runecape says, we have a cumbersome special requirement to kill new monsters, which we have to be boosted to kill, and have worse loot than Addy Dragons, which was the main issue here originally, was the loot was worse than Adamant Dragons, which is to say something, definitely. To kill them off task, you have to, at minimum, pay about 5k per kill. That's where I want to stop real quick. The whole pay per kill mechanic is a novelty. It's not so you can just go fight them whenever you want. It's so you can fight them whenever you want, not so you can fight them whenever you want. It's an option. It's a privilege. It's not a right? It's something that is giving you an option to say, hey, if you really want to fight these monsters for whatever reason, you can. You're going to, have to give an offering to do so, but at least you can. And that's what RuneScape has always been about, in my opinion, is the ability to do so, your choice in the matter. So, I think it's a really cool mechanic to say, hey, you can fight these monsters anytime you want, but if you want to be efficient about it, you're not going to do it that way. And I thought that was clever on paper, but apparently in practice, a lot of people are not happy about it. I'll continue on. Their special loot is tier 80 hybrid armor with no special stats to distinguish it from the existing two sets. It has a set effect which can't be used efficiently for Slayer because of the helm requirement, meaning that you need the full set, which requires the helmet, which means you can't use your Slayer helmet, which means that's like a 20% damage, decrease right there, just so you can use the special effect of this set, which is pretty lackluster, and if anything, just steals from the range part of the combat triangle. I think as well, mage having the cost per kill in potions wise is similar as a cost of 3 to 4k per kill, and they barely break even. Those are the kinds of costs that I think do need to be taken into consideration. Food and potions, things that you can become more efficient at and reduce your use of course. If something is specking you and just draining all your potions constantly, yes, in my opinion, that's a problem. If it's doing it once every 5 minutes or something, and you can avoid it, then that's not a problem. And from what I was able to garner from David, again, I haven't done this myself, and I can probably sympathize with you, Sarah, despite the fact that I can't empathize at the moment, but I can sympathize with you that I hate the combat system in this game, and I feel like even though if David says it's easy to avoid the special attack, for the average player, it's probably not. And I'm probably going to have a hard time with it and agree with you that it's a really annoying attack. Again, sounds great on paper. In execution, especially with the Jagex, their combat engine. I'm trying to find a nice way to... I'm basically trying to not devolve into just swearing about how badly I dislike the combat system in this game. Anyway, that set effect, reading from the front page, looks like you can trigger any effect with any gem, which is already meh for the amounts given, and would only be marginally useful. But no, it turns out you have to charge it with the associated gem, meaning that the Onyx and Hijack effects cost over 20k per activation. That makes them twice as expensive to use as the appropriate enhanced bolts, with the additional requirement of wearing a full set of gear with worse stats than Barrow's armor, which are already almost entirely unused because they're prohibitively expensive for marginal benefits. Not that it matters, because even if this armor costs no charges to use, and you could just use it any effect for free, it would still be, at best, niche gear for mid-level players, which I have no problem with. But the problem here is these are not dropping for mid-level players, and you would say, well, Magebit, you wouldn't drop the gear for mid-level players to mid-level players. You drop it to the high-level players to sell it to the mid-level players. Okay, I can kind of get on board with my own little argument here that I've created in my head. But on the flip side to that, if these have no value long-term for mid-level players, they're not going to invest in it to begin with. They're just going to go with Bandos or something like that. Something that they can grind out themselves. I don't foresee that working in the kind of open economy that we have here in RuneScape. DX, knowing that this set effect of this armor basically gives you the effect of any enhanced bolts that you want, and is probably worse than Barrow's armor, can you see any situation in which you'd be like, yeah, I want this armor at your level or any level? Because I really don't. There seems to be decent alternatives for fairly good pricing. It's like, why wouldn't you just go with Barrow's armor, or why wouldn't you go with one of the other hybrid armors from like God Wars 2 or something, like Sliske armor? I think I'm gonna go with Sliske armor.
You go with Sliske armor because you've been to God Wars Legend 2. I haven't.
Nice. You should go.
I'll take it. Yeah, I should go.
Yeah,
I think
go ahead.
People would want to get this new armor, just to say that they've got it. I don't think they would use it. I don't think they'd use it if the set effects is the equivalent of the bolt that you use, I believe.
Yeah.
Is that right?
I don't. I can look up the armor, but I don't exactly know when the different set effects activate. This armor just seems so useless that it's like, what's the point? Like, I don't think anyone's gonna really want this armor. But that's just me. If you want this armor, please tell me why.
If you're a hoarder, you'd probably want to collect it.
Yeah, I mean that's the only reason why I can think of is you just to say you have it. But like, is there anyone out there who could find utility for this? I'd like to know, because I certainly can't think of any utility for this when there are cheaper armors that are more that generally protect you better than this. So I don't know. Anyway, we're continuing on. So shortly after launch, the Gemstone Dragons received a buff. I would say within a few hours after they were launched. This, of course, was to address the immediate rioting that was occurring on Reddit. Shawnee,
what about World 60? People forgot about World 66.
I think people have turned Reddit into World 66, basically. Elite says, I think this highlights what could be a big issue for the new Slayer monsters. They can't undercut boss drops or top-tier drops, so all that's left is mid-level gear and or skilling resources. You're not wrong, yeah. I mean, the fact that they are trying to make sure that these are not better than boss monsters, because that would be kind of silly, but at the same time, they're difficult, but not as difficult as boss monsters, right? Because then you're basically just creating a boss monster. Yeah, it's a difficult balance to make, and one that I do not... I would not want to take on myself. I wish them luck trying to retrofit these monsters into this Slayer system for sure. But heck, it's not a job that I would want to be doing. Zenel says, to me, this armor sounds like a lot like the Dragonstone armor, not very good, but pricey due to the rarity. However, this will likely drop in price. I agree. The price will probably go down. I mean, at the very least, it has a set effect, unlike the Dragonstone armor that exists already in game. Let's see what do they do here.
It looks like the set effect side. The 14% extra damage if you use an uncut Dragonstone. Mm-hmm. It has the same effect as Dragon Bolt's E. Apparently,
so it's whatever you charge.
Damage on it.
It's whatever you charge the armor with. It gives you the E effect of that.
Yeah. If you use an uncut Onyx, it heals 25% of your attack if you've been damaged.
Yeah, cool.
And the uncut Hydric adds 1% extra adrenaline per auto ability and attack used for 15 seconds.
They're saying, I use more food and supplies there than at Fury's solo. I wonder if that has to do more with just learning the mechanics, or if they're just way too difficult. I don't know.
I imagine it would. It's a matter of imagine a trial and error, I'd imagine.
Let's see, what do they hotfix? Shawnee has some info for us here. He says, hi everyone, we've been reading your feedback related to our latest content release, Gemstone Drags. The feedback is a nice way of putting it. Thanks for your comments so far.
Rants.
I always love when it's like, thank you, Master, for abusing the crap out of me. We have been discussing throughout the day, and we're going to be taking the following steps to address your feedback. We'll be doubling the drops for each Dragonstone, Onyx, and Hydrix. They will now drop Adamant Dragon Bones, and we'll be renaming the Adamant and Rune Bones in the future content update. We're just unable to do this now, as it would require a full game reboot, which would mean, server comes down, yada, yada, yada. So they've...
Why didn't they just change it to dragon bones? I mean, the only the only difference should be like the frost dragons because they're frost dragon bones.
I mean, they used
So why don't they just change it to all just the bloody dragon bones? Standard. Every dragon.
They used the adamant dragon bones to make them more valuable, I would assume, because regular dragon bones are only like what, 2K each? Probably less at this point. I have no idea. So they were trying to add value to this here, and they were going to make a unique bone for this, it sounds like, but they just didn't have the time, and they didn't want to cause the inconvenience of knocking the game servers offline, so they just adjusted it live and was like, all right, it'll drop Adam Dragon bones for now, and eventually we'll make gemstone bones or whatever the hell they're going to do. Who the hell knows? But this is just an A/B test for Jagex to see how people react to mobs with mechanics. You know, it's very well possible that they just wanted to see how we would react. Yeah.
Hey, you know what? They did do it. They did do a hot fix. Think about it. They gave us a new Jagex logo.
Oh God. So there you go. That is Gemstone Dragon updates. We're going to continue on here and talk about how we should fix these, at least according to some of the forum posters here. This next one is coming from Hidden Relic from the RuneScape official forums, and it says, I think he meant to say how to fix gemstone dragons, but the post is titled
No, it's how to fix.
How to
someone off the street's gonna fix the gemstone.
Someone's got a hoe to fix, and it's Hidden Relic. Adamant bones went from 8,100 down to 7,200 and falling. Yeah, great time to do prayer for sure. Start buying up those bones. So this is Hidden Relic's suggestion here. Best, simplest, and most balanced way to fix the current loot problem? Dragonstone Dragons. I'll always allow drops 60 to 75 dragon bolt tips. Total value would add 13 to 16k on task and 12ish off task. Onyx again always drop 4 to 5 bolt tips, and Hydrix drop 4 to 5 bolt tips as well. Why bolt tips? A few reasons. First off, they are not new items and are already as low as they will reasonably go, meaning they're at ALC price at this point. Meaning there would be little impact on the market to consider. Secondly, doing this would provide an option that is reasonably more profit compared to the mobs of similar level and difficulty while on task. Off task, however, while reasonably allows for other options. Lastly, if the armor is changed to take bolt tips as well as gems, possibly at a reduced rate, it would offer another sink for them. So I kind of like that idea of just being like, just add some bolt tips. I mean, the whole thing is kind of surrounded upon the bolt tip effect, and this is an item that's already at ALC value, so you really can't devalue it anymore like they are doing with Atom Bones for the moment. Atom Bones will probably recover when they make a unique item, unless they make that unique item literally the same XP as Dragon Bones, in which case they will probably then fall in tandem. But
I've never heard of them called Atom Bones. I wonder how the RR man would think about that.
So I like this idea. I think it's a good idea. I think that bolt tips would be a reasonable drop to add. I'm also fine with the the bones as well. But yeah, why not?
Yeah, definitely. Bolt tips is definitely a great idea because that way you can actually use your magic to enhance those tips.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Oh, you can I'll use my magic to enhance your tip anytime. Anyway. Gemstone armor, of course, the main drop that is occurring from these monsters, the unique drop, if you will. And this person, of course, here wants to complain about that because it's just a problem with everything with these monsters. But in reality, this armor seems to be quite lackluster, depending on your point of view. And if your point of view is sane, then yeah, these are this armor is probably not great. So anyway, this is by Luna Eclipse RS, who says, so new dragons were released today, and that's great and all, but what concerns me is the new armor. First off, what even is game design? Jagex, you have literally taken one of the only two things that made range different from magic and melee and just gave it away. You have stated before that the Combat Council is aware of the problem of combat styles becoming homogeneous, yet you continually take more and more steps away from fixing the problem. Secondly, a while back a thread was brought up in the combat forums discussing about making gem tip bolts more useful. This armor is not an effective solution to that problem. In addition to being hybrid type armor, the fact that the solution to the problem is that that the armor at all forces the player to sacrifice DPS for only a slight increase in the utility of the bolt tip. So meaning that you're not going to sacrifice an insane amount of DPS just to get the set effect of bolt tips. It's just no sane person is going to do that, effectively making this armor useless for really anyone but collectors. So how do we fix this? Well, in the eyes of Luna Eclipse, First, since the armor is already in the game, it's essentially irreversible to change it into something else that would work better to alleviate the issue of the gem effect's usefulness. I mean, you could make a big change, but it would be kind of silly. Just change what's already in game, I suppose. Start by making this armor ranged only style. Gemstone effects are unique to ranging and need to stay that way to maintain relevance in the modern game. Otherwise, melee and magic will overshadow it in most situations. Excuse me. The armor also needs to be made better. One way to do this is to take tier 85 ranged tank armor and only repair it with gemstones. So that's, an idea. This creates a trade-off of only a lesser DPS boost for added utility. Lastly, attuning the armor should only allow you to attune it to any gemstone effect using appropriate gems and possibly runes. So, I don't see how this is going to fix the armor. I mean, I still think it would be
a big sink for the. It'd be a big sink for the dragon.
It would be
not dragon. What's that bloody stone again? Dragonstone.
It would be a big sink if people used it. I don't know if anyone would necessarily use this sync. And again, I don't have any PVM people here to really bounce ideas off of, so I don't necessarily know. But I would definitely say that it's unlikely. I cannot get this. I really wish my scroll wheel wasn't broken. I really, really do. Did that really just say good meowing now? That is ridiculous. I said that literally like an hour ago, and it just posted it in chat. YouTube chat is like on par with probably, carrier pigeon. I don't know.
Carrier pigeon.
So I honestly feel like this gemstone armor is going to become nothing more than a cosmetic, and I honestly haven't even looked at it to see if it's a nice cosmetic. So that's sad to say.
You know what I do with my ports armor? I put that in my armor wardrobe in my player owned house.
Yeah,
so that's probably what a lot of people would do if you could store this stuff in your player owned house. I'm assuming a lot of people would probably do it that way.
Probably. I mean,
if you can, of course.
Yeah, if you can, that's probably what people do. Just stick it in the house. Pretend like you're going to have a house party someday. Wait for that construction rework that's definitely coming this summer.
Wink, wink.
I swear to God, it better come. If there's no construction update this year and we get no farming update, I am going to be the saddest person in existence. Like the show that we get after the last expansion is posted, if it wasn't in the previous expansions, it is just going to be sad bit the entire show. And possibly I could. Maybe.
Probably change your name to Sad Bit. That way next time there's a competition, you'd be even further down the ranking list.
Elite, yeah, right. Elite says, to be fair, I don't think they're complaining for the sake of it. As someone who hates the idea of 120 Slayer, I still wanted to like the update to see if they were on the right path. I agree. I wanted to like this update too, and now I want to mute my phone. But yeah, I wanted to like this update as well, and I'm still holding out hope that it's going to be brought up to par. But there is definitely a significant issue if for their level, if a 101 Slayer monster, meaning it's the highest Slayer monster that you could fight in the game, has lower XP than a monster in the 95 range and doesn't offer drops that are significantly better, that's a problem. It needs to be one of the two. It needs to have.
I'm surprised they didn't use the mechanic. That mechanic where you can actually see your stats above level 99. I'm surprised they didn't use that mechanic for the Slayer thing for the Hydrix dragons.
That'd be cool.
That way you wouldn't have to make a pie.
I would love to see something like that, maybe in the Metaphos Temple, where you could it just shoots your stats over max, and you have to fight some crazy. Maybe you fight a mask against Avatar. It's just yourself. And you have to boost your stats.
Imagine if there's that boosting stat and stuff like that, and then next thing you know, you just go after some weak ass boss and stuff like that, and just completely wreck them.
Oh, someone will figure out how to boost their stats and then sneak them out, and then go one hit General Grador. It'll be good.
Or Axel.
Yeah, right. So this next post here is called "Let the new gemstone armor charge off while killing gemstone dragons," and I thought this was a great idea. This comes from a Masket, very prominent Rune Labs poster back in the day. Had a lot to do with the Metaphos update, I believe. So generally, when they have something to say, I listen. Currently, charging up the gemstone armor for the effects is barely, if at all, worth doing. I think we can all agree with that. Perhaps it can gain charges if used to kill the gemstone dragons themselves, and perhaps not drain charges against them too, as a solid way to allow you to build up charges. I love this idea. It takes an armor that is effectively useless right now, expensive to use with no payoff, and then gives you a way to charge the armor for basically just your time, and then you can go use it against other monsters, and then when it's depleted, you go and you fight some more Gemstone Dragons. I love that idea. It gives this armor a utility, a way to avoid charge drain rate, or even, you know, I guess you could still use charge drain rate if you are going to augment it, but at the very raw sense, if you want to get the utility out of it, you're not going to be paying big bucks for that. I think that's a smart idea. It's a good way to kind of maybe breathe some attention into this armor from mid-tier PVMers who are just looking for something that can be, you know, kind of easily recharged. I don't know. I like the idea. Greg says,
speaking of ideas, I want to read what Zenel's posted. No
Yeah.
farming updates, sad bit, bad farming updates, mad bit, has a cat bit, training recorrupting, nap bit, listening to Michael Jackson, who's bad bit. Jesus Christ.
I like it, though.
Good on you, Zenel.
If they were going to make them over
Zenel would think of something like that.
Greg says if they're going to make them over 90, they should have made them level 100 monsters. The skill cape boost would work. That's actually a little more intelligent
that's a good idea.
than what they did. You're right. I think, you know, they were trying to bring some value to some old items, but I think they ended up just pissing off PVMers in the end, really. So this next post here is an example of good mechanics versus bad mechanics, and I want to see if I agree with them. It's by Silasod, I think is the name. Sorry, hard to pronounce. Some tasks I don't skip. So these are examples of good mechanics, according to this person. We could talk about them. Wish we had Pern here for this, because they put Ripper Demons on their good list, and I don't think he would agree. So Glaciers, my first time experiencing mechanics, and fun ones at that. Lucrative drops for a mid-tier Slayer monster, the boots that look really nice and are required for tier 90, and the Armadillo shard incentivizes people to come back and finish the staff. So, again, Glaciers, they get an A+. I would agree. Glaciers, great Slayer monster, well designed, not overly complicated for just a simple mob, yet difficult enough that, you know, it feels like you are slaying something opposed to just massacring hordes of minions. So I would agree. Glaciers, they are a good Slayer monster. Good example. Rune Dragons. This is an example of a good Slayer monster, not necessarily the mechanics here. He says, I don't actually like them, partly because they take too long to kill with too little happening, but the tier 90 boots are really good, and I really want one of the rare cosmetic drops. So again, super rare cosmetic drops, bringing this person back to Rune Dragons. The fact that they have good loot and good XP brings them back, even if their mechanics aren't fun. Their loot is really good, and their XP is really good. So
have you ever gone after a Rune Dragon?
Yeah.
I still haven't, to be perfectly honest. How's the fight like?
I died.
Oh well, that explains a lot. But have you killed the Rune Dragons?
I have killed some Rune Dragons. Yeah, they're not bad. They're not too bad. You have to pay attention to your life points, though, because they can hit hard. And I wasn't paying attention, and they basically like hit me for like 5k, and I died. But
so basically, you were doing a live stream of RuneScape Weekly, and you weren't paying attention and died.
I was totally not paying attention. But yeah, they're not too hard. If you're paying attention, they're not too bad.
Okay.
Let me see here. What is that allowed to say? My chat's behind. I just lost it. Oh, from Facebook, Freddy says, those new dragons need better drops. I'll lose 1k if I'm paying with dragon stones. I'll lose more if I eat food. So basically, they are not really making me any money. And to be honest, that's going to make me think twice about these dragons. And I think that pretty much is a great summation of how most people are feeling about this monster, or these monsters, if you will. If you have to fight them off task, I feel like there is some level of, you know, okay, these don't necessarily have to be profitable. But on task, if these are not making you either best XP per hour for level, or, you know, amazing drops for level or whatever, then yes, there's a pretty big problem here. Because if you've been assigned these, you shouldn't be losing money on a Slayer assignment most of the time. And
just remember, there is drop changes coming next week.
Yep, and there will be more changes coming. So Abyssal Demons, good money, good XP, and satisfying AoE damage. So yeah, everyone loves killing Abbey Demons. They're squishy, but you know, their drops are decent. Some people like Abbey Demons. I would agree with that. I would say most of my slaying was done just daily Abbey Demon tasks, pretty much. Ripper Demons, I don't know why insta-killing is annoying, but I think they're fun and look cool. Also good XP. So again, good XP can keep you coming back. Even sometimes just cool, the look of the monster, I guess, can also bring you back. It's personally not what I look. I look at mainly more of how difficult is this fight going to be versus the rewards that I'm going to be able to obtain. Gemstone armor? I'm a little concerned about. Some bad mechanics. Stun mechanic of the elves and Prifddinas. Binds are okay, stuns are stupid, especially when they happen semi-randomly. Maybe it can be fine as a punishment if you mess up on another mechanic. So stun mechanics, yeah, they're annoying. Insta-kill on a Slayer creature is too much. Even though you just said you liked Ripper Demons, I find that amusing. But yeah, insta-kill on a Slayer creature is probably too much for just a regular Slayer monster. When you phase a Rune Dragon with a high hit, a hit that goes a couple of thousand HP past their switching phase, they heal back up to the point they're supposed to be phased at. This sucks. Yeah, that does suck. Possible features for future creatures. Dropping a tradable item in an untradeable piece incentivizes people to return. I agree. Making uniques look cool and unique. Big surprise. Big surprise. Unique cosmetics bring people back. Drop super rare cosmetics. Yeah, this guy likes cosmetics, and so do I. But yeah, short kill times with too long being around Rune Dragons, in my opinion. Glaciors have good mechanics. He really likes Glaciors. Killing a bunch of low-level things, less than 10,000 HP, is usually more fun if we can really utilize AoE abilities. Yeah, I agree with that. Killing mobs en masse, if you're going to do like little mobs, killing them en masse is way more fun. Anyway, those are some kind of good and bad points for Slayer monsters. Jagex, take them, perhaps? I don't know. I just felt it was kind of a good little fit there, since we were talking about so much Slayer. And it just doesn't seem like Jagex can pick a good versus bad here. Go ahead.
There's so many monsters out there I wish I could take. I wish I was taking on, just so I can make a judgment for myself, what's better for me to go after at my level, at my skill.
You should listen to the PVM Perspective podcast. They are giving all sorts of information.
I listened to the first one. I did listen to the first one. That one gave me a lot of great ideas regarding what was it, regarding the blood essence and also the Niles as well.
I gotta get on that blood essence train. I haven't used it ever. So that is.
You can get it from the ghouls outside the What is it, outside the Catafest Crypt?
Yep, it's up north past the Lodestone sort of thing. Yeah,
yes,
that was a good event. I really enjoyed that event. Anyway.
No, not north past the Lodestone. No, you mean west past the Lodestone.
Yeah, northwest.
You're talking about north via the fairy rings.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're right. Ow.
And David just entered the room by tripping over something.
Welcome, David. So anyway, this one, we're going to move away from Gemstone Dragons. So Dave, if you want to talk anything about the new Gemstone Dragons, now is your chance to forever hold your peace on that until Friday. We did play the PVM Perspective segment already, so you have technically already talked without your, knowledge, maybe.
Approval.
No, that was mostly it. I thought they were relatively fun to fight, but pretty not rewarding, which was a little sad. But at the same time, maybe the whole idea is that Slayer has been too rewarding for too long, and this is the new normal, and everything else is about to get, nerfed as 120 comes out.
I mean, it's very well possible that they're trying to gear us and get us ready for harder monsters with different, harder mechanics. And I have to say that I, on paper, really like the whole, off-task, these are not going to be profitable. On-task, these are profitable. I liked that idea, but I'm hearing that on-task, they're not profitable right now. Is that...
I killed about 100 of them on task. It's been 500 points to get them, which was annoying. Yeah, I did them on task, and they're probably something like half the XP of Abyssal Demons and a third of the profit.
Have you got any decent drops from it yet?
Yeah, I got a cut Dragonstone, which is really
only one.
I got this stupid T-shirt. It just doesn't sound like. How many have you killed in total? Would you say? Do you have any rough estimate?
Yeah, about 100, a little less than 100. My task was 95 or something.
Okay, and. Would you say you lost money overall, or made a little bit, or?
Oh no! I made probably 400K.
What was your?
Wow, that's not much.
What was your gear setup?
Full tier 90 magic gear with a staff of Sliske, tier 99 prayer, blood essence, and a Slayer helm.
Was your gear augmented, or is it tier 9? I'm assuming you just weren't bothering with augments.
No, yeah, it was augmented with all the best perks, yeah.
So you were augmented.
And I also used my Slayer gear, which is sort of augmented with, I've got Biting 2, Crackling 3, Dragon Slayer would be the kind of relevant perks there.
So you're heavily perked out, and you still made profit off of the Hydrix ones. Is that correct?
Yeah, I think so. Although I didn't factor in the cost of the Onyx that I paid.
Okay, well, let's just say you're on task, right? Like, let's just assume that the player's on. I'm totally fine with these not making money on off task, but they should either make amazing XP or good money on, like, one of the two on task. And if it's not, then that's a problem.
I basically had the best possible gear. I basically maxed out gear and was averaging between 220 and 240k XP an hour in Slayer, which makes it one of the 3 or 4 worst tasks Warbringer assigns.
Good to know.
And
So,
then
not good XP.
I made, and then the GP per hour factoring the Onyx is probably something like 350k to 400k. So it's about as good as.
How long does it take to kill one of those dragons?
I mean, I kill them extremely fast, but I was noticing other people killing them at a much slower rate. They've got a lot of HP, and they've got the special. I was using a tier 92, tier 99 prayer and blood essence, so I was killing them quite quickly. I barely got the special because it seems that like it procs randomly, which is a little annoying. I think it'd be cool if it was more consistent.
I have a question for you. Which blood essence do you use, out of curiosity?
Berserk.
Berserk blood essence, okay. So that one has a chance to apply weapon poison, right? Randomly? Is that what
No, that one raises your base stats by 14 in whatever style you're using.
Oh, okay. That's actually
so it's
as
like
long as
it's
you don't
like
use an
having
overload, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, so it's like it's about 50% better than overloads because you use a supreme magic potion to raise your stats to 118, and then the berserk blood essence raises your stats to 131. Whereas, yeah, so I have so that's how you do it.
Save it from PVM perspective.
If you combine it with maniacal, you can get your stats up to 142.
Wow.
Oh, jeez.
All right, so there you go. That's a little bit of what you could be learning on PVM perspective right there for sure.
Hey, Mage, you want to go after those dragons now?
I'll pass. I have a solid 6.9 million XP to go here to 120 div. I am on.
Well, if it makes you feel better, it seems like the new meta for Slayer will be less GP per hour than div.
Okay, it's good to know. I'm okay with them as long as they're making some money. The fact that they're not making millions of gold an hour is definitely pissing people off. I don't think it needs to make millions an hour as long as you're sustaining yourself and making some profit. I'm okay. I'm happy. I think we need to stop releasing monsters that release millions of gold. I don't know. That's just me, and I think that might be an unpopular opinion.
Yeah, I think that's fine. It just needs to not be terrible XP then.
Yeah, I agree. It should not be terrible XP and terrible money. It needs to be good, one of the two, and I would go more towards XP, especially with the 101 Slayer. With 101 Slayer, like I should be getting like 500k XP an hour at least, and I don't feel like they're leaning that way, and that's not a good idea in my opinion. Just Slayer is hard enough as it is, having to constantly switch between gear setups and locations and whatnot. Like it's a lot of effort. It's a full on effort. Like you're paying attention during Slayer, I would say more so than if you're doing something like what I'm doing here, where I'm just doing divination or something. I just feel like the XP rates should definitely be higher than like what I'm getting here, which is like 100k an hour. You know,
if you care about your comp kit, get 120 Slayer now before everything gets nerfed and changed.
Yeah, if you really want an easy time, you don't want to wait for 120 Slayer to be launched. It sounds like, because it sounds like they're changing a lot of stuff to make Slayer harder, which is going to be frustrating.
Which may be good for the game and healthy. Just like take advantage of it now while it's easy.
It will be good for the game in the long run, but it's going to piss a lot of people off. And yeah, if you want an easy time, you should probably do Slayer now for sure. Slayer, which is click intensive, can't make millions of gold an hour. I mean, that's what they're saying with a question mark. I mean, it can make millions of gold an hour, but it doesn't have to every single time. That's all I'm saying, is it doesn't always have to be. Like, every monster that comes out in Slayer doesn't have to be the next greatest moneymaker that the skill has to offer. There has to be some monsters in there that are okay at making money and okay at making XP, and, you know, that's what Slayer's about, is you don't get to choose the monster you're going to fight. You may get a monster that's super lucrative. You may not get a monster that's super lucrative. And that's exactly why, in my opinion, they gave you the option to fight these off tasks. Mainly if you wanted like the unique drop or something, you could fight these off tasks for the unique drop and just grind them out. But you're going to lose money doing that, but you're doing that because there's something you want. It's a convenience at that point. So you're paying for the convenience to fight them anytime. I have no problem with paying for a convenience to fight them anytime. A lot of people seem to. They seem to think that they should just be able to go to any monster that they want and immediately start making profit off of it. And I hold a different viewpoint, it seems. Thoughts?
Well, did you? Yeah, I mean, I agree with that. I mean, the thing is, the Onyx, like, you have to pay both on task and off task. Isn't that correct? Or can you?
No, there's no payment on task. If you.
Oh, okay. Well, that makes it not as bad as I thought. It's probably maybe 500K an hour GP then.
So I mean, if you're not paying on task, you can probably expect about $500,000 profit, which honestly sounds not much worse than what I was getting at Abbey Demons. I don't know. Which, again, you take an level 85 Slayer monster and compare it to a level 101 Slayer monster, and saying that, it's about the same as the level 85 Slayer monster. I think that inherently is a problem.
But Abbey Demons are also AFK, and if you could AFK Abbey Demons completely, make the same amount of GP and twice as much XP.
I honestly think that's just something about Slayer in general, not these new Gemstone Dragons. Slayer needs to be reworked, not the Gemstone Dragons. Like,
oh yeah,
there are monsters that are way OP for their level. I mean, coming from Twitch, Lurker Noob says, the economy is already effed up because Jagex have been carelessly increasing drop values with every new monster released. I could not have said it better myself. I completely agree with that. Like, this is what happens when you get in that race. If every new mob has to be the best. Every, new boss has to be the best. And that can cause economic problems if you're not careful. And it also can cause psychological problems with your player base, where they always are expecting the next thing to be better and the best. And then naturally you're going to be disappointed when something comes out and it isn't the better. It's not the best monster in the game. Maybe it has a niche use, and God forbid something has a niche use. It's just I don't know. It seems as though people have a hard time grasping that, and you know what? To be fair, Jagex has been producing things that way, as Lurker New was saying, for a very long time. People are used to that, and it's going to be hard to break that cycle.
And last thing, did you already talk about how functionally useless this armor that just came out is?
We've touched upon it, but please, I can't get enough. Let me know.
Yeah, well, the problem is that because it requires the full set, you can't use it with the Slayer helm and be useful. There's no reason to ever use hybrid armor outside of Slayer, because there's no PVM situation where this tiny boost would be better than power armor, even if the power armor you're using is Armadillo or Bandos. So DX, you could feel confident in your Bandos gear being better than whatever this is. Sorry for that.
If it means anything to you, I actually started upgrading my weapons. They're now at Drygor stage now.
Well, that's awesome. Drygors are the best.
I made so much money on Harley's tip about the ancient bones, man. I made so many of those auras, and I made myself like 26 mil just like that.
Yeah, they're worth a lot right now.
Yeah.
About 3 mil. I think they're worth about 3 mil right now on the GE.
When all is said and done in the arc, and I have just a buttload of chimes left over, I'm just gonna buy a bunch of ancient bones and go buck wild. It's gonna be good.
Also, hey, by the way, you need taijutsus as well, apart from the chimes.
I have almost 200 taijutsus at this point.
Oh, you've got to be kidding me.
Yeah, from all these islands. It's like almost, I would say, like every other island has like a chest on it, and a lot of them are large chests. I've been getting like between 4 and 6 taijutsu per island. It's great.
It's a bloody RNG crap again, because I don't get that kind of luck.
Yeah, I guess
I only get like one chime, or not one chime, one taijutsu or island.
I've gone
It's like a little suitcase with bloody one taijutsu.
I've had some trouble myself. I've gone like 5 islands and had no divination nodes on it. That's a lot of supply, like 100 supplies just down the drain. Like that can be really just
That's if you're going to the large islands.
Yeah, I'm always going to the large islands. I'm pretty sure the best bang for your buck is the large. Please tell me if I'm wrong.
Yes. No, you're 100% right on that one.
But yeah, I've been just cranking out large islands. I do probably about maybe 50 large islands a day right now.
Oh yeah.
Going through them, I have a lot of chimes saved up.
You're only
You're
going up to the
going
divination.
ham.
You're only going up to the divination spot, not the mining spot, not the
Yeah,
fishing
I'm just
spot.
draining anything of divination and moving on. What was that, David?
So you're going pretty hard there.
Yeah, I'm making like 150k XP an hour, and I'm just like hardcore, just chilling. It's gotta. I have.
If I were you, I'd do the fishing as well, just so you can get the fishing outfit while you're doing it.
XP waste, man. Total XP waste.
It's not XP waste. You're getting XP for fishing.
Getting the wrong kind of XP. I gotta get this
excuse
done.
me
I
then.
want this cape. It's been a year. I just want it to be done. I've said it before already on the show, but like if
Sarah's saying she does meds, so that's bad for you. You know, you don't do meds unless they're prescription.
if a key promo pops up, I'm buying it. Like I'm doing it. I want this to be done. I got a long comment here from Freddie via Facebook. For 98 plus Slayer, I think they need to buff these up. Jagex is making 120 virtual levels. Actual levels now is what it seems. Definitely, that is their plan, yeah. The fact that they did it before Metaphos is definitely... Nah. So in these 2 weeks, Jagex messed up by these new rings. Everyone is merching and not playing the game. Lunar Spheres came out, and people are merching those as well. Yeah, that'll always happen. People are ruining the price of the luck of the dwarves because they buy the fortunate components for 500k each. Yeah, great time to do clue scrolls. When in GE prices, yeah, far less than that for sure. So all the money being spent on making a ring is what price is going to be. And now it's definitely at an all-time high for sure. I would not buy the Luck of the Dwarves right now. Like, just don't do it.
I think it's gone up to about 14 mil now, apparently.
Well,
the
on the flip side, Mage, I've bought about a year's worth of God pages to recharge my God books at about 50 to 60% discount because everybody is doing clues and God pages are coming to the game at an alarmingly high rate. So I've got literally a year's supply of God pages for myself at really, really cheap.
Nice.
Also coming from Facebook, Tristan asking, how is PvP? I would say it's a little less than dead than ever, but mostly dead than ever. I mean, Bounty Hunter is hanging on by the skin of its teeth, but it exists, and there are people playing it, which is definitely better than...
It exists in memory because there's only, one or two people playing the OC version of it at the time.
Yeah, and of course, if you go over to old school RuneScape, there's still, I think, a decent PVM community, but, yeah. PvP in RuneScape 3 is... all but dead, I would say. Anyway, with that being said, anything else anyone wants to talk about in regards to Gemstone Dragons or anything, or shall we move along to our posts for the day?
Like I suggested, mate, you ought to give it a try. Yeah, we really can't knock it until we've tried it. So,
I mean,
yeah,
definitely,
that's my thoughts.
I'm not gonna completely shit on it until I've gone, but from what I can, garner from the information that I've read here, these do need some tweaking, maybe a little bit of tweaking, but overall, if they are profitable on task, I'm mostly okay with them. What we really need, I think, to look at as a whole is the paradigm of Slayer and what it means to be, training Slayer. And do you always need to be making 3 million gold an hour, or can Slayer monsters be more about the XP, or maybe about the unique drop in the XP opposed to the common drops? And that's it? Like, I don't know. It seems as though everyone's focused on GP per hour and not XP per hour or possible unique artifacts that the monster could drop, and I don't know. I'm playing this game from a very different generation. It feels like people don't want to play RPGs the same way that they were, originally conceptualized, and that's not necessarily a bad thing. I just have to kind of accept that, I guess. And if I was designing these types of Slayer monsters, it would be focused more around their XP rates and their unique drops more so than their common drops. But whatever. That's all I got to say on that. We'll keep you updated if things do change. Anyway.
And I'm reading this comment here from Elite Power. Coming the week after Mage gets 120 divination. Lucky divination memories. 10 times the rate of Protean memory.
The Gemstone Dragons.
You are sick.
The Gemstone Dragons do indeed have unique effects, by the way. Ronnie was asking on Facebook, do they have unique abilities? They do have unique abilities each. Some of them drain potions. Like, it can be frustrating to fight. They primarily attack through magic. They can use all combat styles, though, so you got to be careful of that. Dragonstone Dragons have a special attack, which sends a purple trail to the player's initial spots. Basically, you just have to get out of the way. It's a 4x4 square, so you need to move outside of that 4x4 square. Deals up to 4,500 magic damage, and drains the timer on any active anti-fire potions currently in use. So you want to get out of that 4x4 square ASAP.
I like that draining idea because it's a mechanic that's not used that often by PVM monsters.
It's annoying as hell, but yeah, it's an interesting mechanic for sure. David, did you want to say something?
I did them for about an hour and never used food. So it's really not.
That's interesting.
Not much. Yeah, I just used Soul Split. More than enough healing with Soul Split. I also killed them very fast compared to what I imagine a typical Slayer would do. So I don't know if that's really a great estimate.
Fair enough. Onyx Dragon's also a special attack. They can steal your life points periodically, so that's a drain on your life points. And the Hydrix Dragon, what do they have? A 3x3 square where spikes appear, dealing magic damage and draining adrenaline to 0. It also, I think, then makes your adrenaline harder to gain afterwards for a little while. So they have probably the most... I honestly think Dragonstone Dragons might have the most annoying one, despite the fact that they are the least... difficult to kill.
No, adrenaline's the worst.
Adrenaline's the worst. That's good to know. So, okay, fair enough. I would just hate to have my potion drained on me and then get like burnt really badly because I'm not paying attention. That just seems more likely like something I would do. Yes, that is why your anti-fire is draining quickly. Anyway, comments anymore? Shall we move along? We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 posts to go. Maybe
5,
4.
I think
4. I think the last one I think is just an article that was supposed to be somewhere else. Anyway, let's continue on here. This was a large post from Reddit that happened this week by Unusual Soup, and this was kind of cross-posted. I like the name, by the way. It's a cool name. It was kind of cross-posted to
like
the old
soup
school
you get from the Ark or something.
Yeah, right. Would you like some of my unusual soup? So this was, again, cross-posted to old school RuneScape and got a very different response there. And this also, in my opinion, was right next to another post. This is about autism, by the way. And this post was literally right next to another post that had massively upvoted, claiming that the RuneScape community was overall a bunch of trained autistic monkeys. And we're just really good at repetitive tasks, which is horribly offensive to anyone, on the spectrum of autism. Like, that to just generalize an illness like that is obviously insensitive and offensive. And there are people out there who, have autism, and you can still play RuneScape, and you need to obviously keep that in mind when you're saying horrible things like that. And I think this post really kind of brings that to light here. And it's called, "Am I Actually Welcome in RuneScape?" And it says, "I'm a pretty happy player. I'm kind, polite, I never say anything mean. I don't even swear. I keep to myself. I have like 5 people on my friends list. I have a completion cape. I love the game a lot. Sadly, I actually do have autism, and it's horrible, not a joke. I can't look after myself. I need help to shower and dress. I could not properly have conversations till a late teenager. I need support to go out. I'm 28 years old now, and I'm also a girl. I have played the game for 14 years. Things were fine until 2 years ago. Then things began to turn bad. People have become very nasty to me, especially when learning I have autism. I often have to inform people due to my trouble understanding things and often being a bit slower. Recently, some friends' chat took it upon themselves to spam me in my friends list anytime I turned it on public with horrible things. I was informed I should have been aborted in the womb, among other things. I honestly want to know if I'm still welcome in RuneScape. If this thread turns out bad, I will delete it." Well,
you're always welcome in RuneScape. Unfortunately, there are dickheads like that.
There's going to be
unfortunately, the last couple of years, it's been like the year of the troll. You know what I mean?
Trolling has gotten significantly worse in the past few years.
Yes, it really has, and there's no regulation regarding it.
Yeah. That trolling has become a huge problem. And I want to point out that this post was not deleted by Unusual Soup. The comments here were, I would say, for the most part, overwhelmingly positive, which I cannot say for the old school community's version of this post. The old school communities got way out of hand, and honestly, it seems as though the major difference between the two is the RuneScape 3 versions was heavily moderated by the moderators, and incendiary posts were removed and controlled, whereas on the old school Reddit, moderators did not take an interest in the post, and anything was allowed to be said, and it quickly devolved into hate speech, which again proves that moderation is a valuable tool, and that I think we should be utilizing it when it comes to things like this. But it's a horrible truth to be spoken here, that, you know, if you have some sort of difference, or you are maybe not what the, you know, what society deems the status quo, that you can be attacked like this. And we shouldn't do this to people. I mean, we come into the RuneScape community and video games in general to get away from things and to have a good time. And you shouldn't be accosted, or, you know, you shouldn't come into this place looking for fun and then get shit on by random people, for sure.
And if anybody ever typed something like that, like what's been written in this post, man, I would have found the report button and just reported them, because they would get muted for about a week or a month or something with that.
You would hope. You would hope. It feels like
That's disgusting.
that they take way too much of an easily laid back approach when it comes to verbal abuse. Like, Jagex seems to be right on par when it comes to, you know, hacking and scamming and stuff like that, but I feel like they're way too lax on verbal abuse.
Yeah.
And maybe that's just me, but I feel like we've read multiple stories on...
No, you're right. You're 100% right, Mage.
I think we've gone over multiple stories on this show where people who have been, you know, either a member of a minority group, or, you know, something along those lines, and they've been attacked for whatever reason, and Jagex is pretty much just like, well, you have an ignore list, and that's pretty much it.
The only way I've seen people really get banned is if something is posted to Reddit and a JMod is tagged in it that has screenshots of whatever the hate speech is.
Pretty much, right? Yeah. And of course, if you report somebody in-game, you never really get to know whether or not anything came of it or not, whereas on Reddit, it's kind of crowd mob justice, if you will. Like, you get to basically watch someone get lynched in the streets when it comes to, you know, posting that stuff on Reddit. But
yeah, people who say this kind of stuff should be named and shamed and muted.
That's another policy that I personally, once someone is proven to be irreparably guilty, and, like, you know for a fact they're guilty, I have no problem with naming and shaming.
Yeah.
Maybe that's why I'm never going to be a member of the Jagex moderation team. I'd be fired so
me
quickly.
neither.
I'd be fired so quickly for, like, posting pics of, like, look at this asshole, he's been botting for like 3 days straight. Just, like, showing his account off. Like, I'd be that asshole. Yeah, I'll never get hired. Especially now that I said that, I'm never getting hired. Anyway.
You'll probably get hired in the next 5 minutes.
Elite says, I know we often see trolling as something funny, but going through Unusual Soup's posts, she has made a post on the Suicide Watch Reddit. Yeah. Not saying it's all down to RuneScape trolls, but it is impactful. Yeah. If you actually go through her previous postings and whatnot, yeah, she pretty much has a post on the Suicide Watch Reddit about, you know, the abuse that she receives. I haven't read that post personally, but I do know it exists. Yeah.
Don't ever think of off on yourself because you're getting trolled by a bunch of dicks. Okay.
Listen, and on top of that, when people found out that she had a post on the Suicide Watch Reddit, on top of that, people then started using that to make, you know, more comments that were inappropriate and rude. Mainly on the old school Reddit. I mean, I'm sure they did on the RuneScape 3 Reddit as well. They were deleted fairly quickly. So I don't know, old school RuneScape subreddit. Get your shit together. Get a real moderation team. But this is truly a problem when it comes to just any online community. I think you nailed it on the head, DX. This is not just a RuneScape problem. This is an internet problem.
This is the era of the troll.
But we are a community, right?
Yeah.
And we can moderate our community. We should moderate our community. And when we see people like this who are looking for help or wanting people to reach out to them, we should offer them a safe haven, in my opinion. Anyway,
and there's also in real life like helplines. You know, if you're feeling down and stuff like that, you know, consider calling those people if you're feeling really down and stuff.
Yep, definitely. And there are, you know, numbers out there you can call if you don't have anyone to talk to.
Yes.
Anyway, let's move along here and talk about something that's been going on for quite some time now. I saved this more for the end of the show because I honestly don't think this is real. I really am waiting for this to just kind of end in misery. This post is by Hazelmere Zero, and it's his confirmation of Hazelmere's Signet ring being on the rare drop table, possibly with secondary requirements. This confirmation is not a direct one, it's indirect proof. Yeah, as all freaking proof is.
Indirect proof.
Despite this, it is possible to gain knowledge using other methods than a JMod's direct statement of the correct method for obtaining it. It is unlikely that they would even directly reveal the method before the ring is found, given that it was supposed to be a secret. It was not mentioned in the news article, and finally they said they won't spoil it. This proof is lengthy, and as I try to cover the most common pitfalls people tend to succumb to and compile all the available information. Are you ready to go down this rabbit hole that is Hazelmere's ring? I've been following this for quite some time now, so you don't have to. So you can sleep at night. I have been following this. I have been going through the Hazelmere Hunt Reddit. I've been going through the Hazelmere Hunt Discord channel. I've been watching that bullshit. And I will try to supplement this document with new information as I read through this if I find anything to be outdated here. But here we go. OSRS subreddit is the equivalent of TD. Not much to do, sad. So in the new Luck Items and Rework news article, under the subtitle, How Does Luck Work?, there are 5 bullet points. The first mentioning rare drops from Slayer, and the last one mentioning accessing the rare drop table, now granting an additional drop, not a replacement. To establish, the first bullet point also contains the discussion of unique drops from Slayer monsters. We note that a Tier 3 luck does indeed increase the chance to obtain items that are unique to the Slayer monsters and can proc a game message when, you obtain one, such as the Abyssal Whip. The last bullet point discussing the rare drop table does not mention any unique items in any way in sections Tier 1 through 3. Into the Tier 4 section, it is said that Tier 4 luck affects all Slayer monsters, and yet further increased chance to access the rare drop table, to receive better loot from it, and to receive unique rewards. The last bullet point discussing the rare drop table mentions that the Tier 4 luck grants a chance to receive a certain unique drop. It is now already established that the first bullet point contains the discussion of the items that are unique to Slayer monsters, and the same reasoning can be applied to the fourth bullet point discussing bosses. Therefore, the certain unique drops mentioned in the last bullet point refer specifically to the rare drop table and no other source of unique drops. Prior to the luck rework, the rare drop table had only one unique drop, the Vecna Skull. It is commonly thought that the shield left half is also unique to the rare drop table, but it is obtainable as a rare drop from Scabarous Mage, the Demon Boss, and the Kingly Impling. The Dragon Spear can be obtained at least by the Kingly Impling, Columbarium Keys, and as a drop from the Vire using the Sun Spear. Brawling Gloves are obtainable as a drop from the Revenant and the Chaos Elemental, and the Dragon Helm is obtainable as a drop from numerous monsters with varying rarity. So, moving on, if the rare drop table still only contained unique drops... My freaking mouse keeps ruining my life. Only unique drops, the Vecna... I hate so much. I need to get a new mouse. I just jumped me like 800 pages ahead in the article and now I'm lost. I hate this mouse so much.
Unfortunately, Mage has muted himself.
I'm not muted.
Yeah.
Why? It's got to be my mouse. Yeah, something's wrong with my mouse, like big time. And it fucks with everything. Apparently that's what muted me last time on Discord. My mouse just freaks out and just does a bunch of stuff, and I don't know what it's doing. So I've completely lost my my train of thought right now.
We need to donate a new mouse for Magebit.
Oh god, I gotta replace this mouse. That's the problem, is it can only be a Razer Naga. So I can't live without a Razer Naga.
Can it be a non-chroma, or does it have to be a chroma?
No, it just has to be a Razer Naga. I don't care. It could be a wired one for all I give a shit. I just need the 12 mouse buttons, that's all.
There's 12 buttons on a Razer mouse? Jeez.
Yeah, it's actually got more than 12, but the main 12 are the most important for me.
I use the Razer Naga.
It's once you have a Razer Naga, it's like really hard to just have anything else, in my opinion.
Yep, I agree.
So, and not an ad for Razer, but my Razer mouse is breaking, so that sucks. It's my own fault because I probably threw it at some point in time. That's what broke my last one.
Here we go. Razer Armor Epic Chroma or just a normal Chroma?
I don't care. They're all great. Mine's not.
I'm just having to look at it off the Razer website in Australia.
We gotta get them to sponsor us and send Mage a new mouse.
They love to sponsor gamers, but
I just had a look at the Razer mouse, man. It looks more like a bloody keypad on your local ATM.
It will revolutionize your
Well, I have-
PVM experience.
Wow.
I have almost 40 actions keybound, and if I didn't have 12 of them on my mouse, it'd be a disaster.
Right? I know. Razer Naga Epic Chroma representing says that. Yeah, I have to see if I have insurance on this mouse and then replace it. If I don't have insurance, that's going to be a problem. But if I do, it won't. I should check sooner than later. Because basically, if I do have insurance, it's going to be from Best Buy, and they're not going to have the Razer Naga in stock. So I'm going to have to special order it, which means I'm going to be without a mouse for 5 days. Blah, 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 blah.
I just posted the Razer Naga Epic Chroma on the @live in Discord for those people who haven't seen this mouse. This mouse is just insane.
If I have to buy a new mouse and I have no insurance, I will probably go with the Chroma edition. Oh, by the way, my Orb Weaver, it's dried off. It's been a year and it works. So, if anyone is interested in purchasing an Orb Weaver that has mild water damage, let me get back into the show. Prior to the luck rework, the rare drop table had only one unique drop, which was the Vecna Skull. I'm going to backtrack a little bit here because I don't know where I was. It is commonly thought that the shield left half is also a unique rare drop. Kingly Imp, all that fun stuff. If the rare drop table still only contained one unique drop, the Vecna Skull, the wording on the last bullet point in the Tier 4 section would have been in a singular form. Oh god. This whole thing is purely based off of Jagex's ability to use grammar correctly? I don't know.
That is bad. Yeah.
That is bad.
I don't know what else to say. Sorry. That wasn't great.
Mage is a
But
stickler
that's all
for
I've got.
grammar too.
All I know is Jagex has a really bad track record with...
Jagex can't even get their grammar correct in game.
I know. Like, if that's what you're basing this off of, oh, that is some weak sauce, man. I'll read on, though.
Sauce.
Yeah, I could go for some sauce right now. If it wouldn't have been mentioned there at all, since the case of the Vecna Skull is already clarified in the subsection of existing luck items. Using all of the above information, it can be deduced with confidence, if you're an idiot, that the rare drop table now contains more than one unique drop instead of just the Vecna Skull, or in other words, one or more unique items have been added to the rare drop table. Now, I can't argue that it's possible, but hey, it just seems very loosely connected here. The new released items were data mined and consistent of only the Lapis Lazuli Ring, Ring of Fortune, Enhanced Luck Potion, Alchemical Onyx Ring, and Luck of the Dwarves, Hazelmere Signet Ring, and their noted versions. All the other new items have been known methods of obtaining the Hazelmere Signet Ring and could not be considered unique drops had they been added to the drop table. The only way for the claim to be true that the Tier 4 luck would grant a chance to receive a certain unique drop is that an item or items would have no other method of obtaining them have been added to the red drop table. The newly released Hazelmere Signet Ring would be the most likely candidate to have been added to the red drop table given the context, but other possibilities for the sake of completeness, although very unlikely, do exist, such as Hazelmere's book. It should be noted, however, that while one or more unique drops have been added to the rare drop table, they might have been secondary requirements attached to them in addition to the Tier Luck 4 item. Other supportive hints. One common opposing argument to this is that the ring would have been found by now if it was attainable via the rare drop table. Even though it does sound right at first, the argument doesn't necessarily have statistical support. So again, saying that like if this had a chance to drop, it would have dropped by now if it didn't require a secondary item. Which is, I mean, if the drop is 1 in 5 million, then maybe it hasn't dropped yet. Maybe it's literally the rarest item ever released in the game to the date. Who knows? That's a stretch, but who knows?
Maybe it'll get traded for like a red party hat when it finally gets.
Maybe.
It's dropped. That's true.
I honestly, here's my take on it. The ring is unobtainable in game right now. It exists in the RuneScape database in the same way the gems from the Ark exist in the RuneScape game code. There's no way to physically obtain this ring as of yet. It's purely in the game to frustrate and annoy the shit out of clue hunters. That is my opinion.
They better not say that because people rage if someone says that.
Sorry, it's my opinion. I don't believe that this ring is obtainable in game right now, and I think Timbo is doing this specifically to drive people nuts. I think it will be obtainable in game eventually, but I think they're just trying to get the community riled up. And
wouldn't that be funny if you could find it at the Falador Garden where Hazelmere was originally buried after the what was that quest where we had to
Eating history?
Yeah, it was.
No, I don't think it was beating history.
I don't remember.
I can't remember the.
Wild
I can't remember the question.
Was it
Pardon?
WGS?
Yeah.
Might be Wild Gothic Slopes. Yeah, it might be that one.
It's absolutely wild.
Judging by Timbo's tweet, it's just a really rare drop table. I don't know. I mean, it might be.
People have dug around that grave for like an hour. DX.
Wouldn't it be funny if we started digging and we ended up in China or something?
I have been following people. I've been following the Discord of people trying to find this ring for quite some time, and they're killing themselves. It's kind of funny, actually. Blueberry special drops are very much legit and related to the Hazelmere ring, is confirmed by Mod Timbo, by the way. So the Blueberry special drop that drops from the RDT has something to do with it. Maybe you need to be drunk on Blueberry special while the drop happens and you get it. Like, you have to drink the Blueberry special from the rare drop table, and I'm sure someone's already done this. But then, in the next few drops, you have a chance of receiving Hazelmere's Signet. Who knows?
If I was to lose a ring and stuff like that, it'd be along the beach. So if I were you, I'd dig along the beach line just to find it.
Some other poignant notes. They were received both while wearing and not wearing Luck of the Dwarves, so you can get the Blueberry special with or without the Luck of the Dwarves ring. It's not tied specifically to Luck of the Dwarves. They were both received off-task and on-task, what's not related to a specific Slayer task. Drops were obtained from Abyssal Demons, Vindicta, and King Black Dragon so far. So that's what we know about Hazelmere's ring, and we'll update you again on Friday if there's any more information. And we are going to close out today's show with one of my favorite topics to talk about. Earn rune coins, right? Earn keys, earn coins, whatever. It's all the same. It's all a scam. When your friendly neighborhood gaming company has a dark side, earn keys. This post is simply just called Just Completed an Earn Keys Survey. It's by Skeletor121, and it says, "This is not a typical post complaining about the Super Rewards offer wall. Well, maybe it is, but the purpose of the post is not to complain, but to rather provide a hopefully humorous first-hand account on what the offer wall does, and the effects of it. May this raise awareness, if not our golden crowned overlords, on the dubiousness of these promotions, then the player who may ever think there's a reward had to be from Super Rewards." So again, this is a warning to players, more so that Jagex says they're not going to do anything about this. They like the money. So it says here, "I've never done these things before, and obviously most people don't either if the slapped together nature of the websites offering these surveys are any indication. But I figured I'd tell Reddit my experience with doing one. So, in case you don't know what I'm talking about, you can click Earn Keys to, well, earn keys instead of buying them with money. If this seems like a good deal, it's probably not. So, of course, you should be skeptical. I think I'd rather go on some cash doing vulgarity than do half the scammy crap Jagex seems to want to endorse to their players. I scrolled through the offers, particularly the free ones, because what is the point of spending money for a service that costs money in the first place? So, in doing so, one will see the plethora of offers are single-digit returns for signing up for services, usually subscriptions to miscellaneous things, many of which require a credit card, and many of which threaten to revoke the pending keys if you cancel said subscription too quickly. So, again, what's the point of a free offer? I did a couple that had, now suspiciously vague, short descriptions of what to do, such as answer 10 questions, which were the most blatant scams because the questions never ended. One of them was a flash quiz, and it was redirecting me to another quiz in the middle of it. And several more just continued on to clickbait malware offers, download this toolbar, subscribe to this email, etc., etc. I'm not an idiot, so I abandoned those offers, if they can even be called such, since neither they nor Jagex had any intent to grant me the petty award I was promised. These quizzes are mildly amusing in their own right. They're so blatant, they're all about as subtle as the whack of a hammer. They go, "Thank you for coming to our buy this gel download virus now, suck this, you get it?" So one thing in particular looked promising. It was a survey for men. Just survey for men. And it seemed
survey for men.
And it seemed to be some kind of marketing survey collecting information on marks for various companies. Perhaps a third party looking to sell this information to companies, or perhaps the companies themselves. I didn't give too much thought into the background politics of the information I was selling. I was just delighted it was the first quiz that didn't ask me for my home address, phone number, and social security, blood type, arm and leg, and blood of my firstborn. The survey's catch seemed to be that I had to be an adult male to complete it, and even it attempted to catch me on at the beginning. It went through a vigorous process of making sure I was telling the truth, such as asking one question, then asking me to answer it again long after. That I was indeed a human male, and that I wasn't just skipping through the answers. Best of all, the survey offered 55 keys for completion. I soon learned why. The quiz took forever. It was probably the longest survey I've ever completed. It took me 1 hour and 45 minutes, and it felt like limbo. That's a long time. It felt like limbo just staring at a pitch white page with plain text for that long. I actually have a video up for earning Runecoins on the Runescape Weekly channel, magebit.tv. And I think I had about 2 hours of footage that I edited down to like 45 minutes. So yeah, they can take a long time.
And all the spyware and stuff that you managed to squeeze into your
my poor
computer when you did that.
It's a good video.
Oh man,
it's a fun video to watch. I read each question in detail.
Video to watch.
It's sad to know that this is like coming like from Jagex, right? Like
yeah.
I read each question in detail, provide each answer truthfully, and honestly felt some dumb sense of satisfaction knowing that this wasn't a soulless trick and seemed to genuinely be interested in my opinion on a topic. At first, the survey asked what sort of products I had purchased recently and what kinds I was looking to purchase soon. I answered, out of somewhat specific options given, that I had both purchased and was looking to purchase a mattress soon. So the quiz took off on that. It asked me everything you could think of about mattresses. My favorite brands, how I felt about said brands, what would sway my opinion about those brands, why I didn't like other brands, what type of mattresses I preferred, what kinds of furniture retailers I go to, what I look for in a retailer, what I think of the differences between online-only brands, in-store-only brands, and contemporary brands. It was mind-numbing. Oh, God. Coming from Facebook, Nathan says, I made about 100 keys with surveys. Yes, many of them are clickbait, and yes, many of them ask for credit cards. But sometimes, if you're lucky, you can get those keys. Normally, 12 to 14 key range is the ones that generally work. Yeah, I mean, if you check out my videos, I've never gone for keys. I'm a little scared to go for keys because they can revoke keys from you for basically any reason, and that can give you a negative J-coin balance, meaning like you have to pay them back basically. So that scares me, but I definitely do the Runecoins, and the Runecoin ones are much fun.
Wouldn't it be funny if you have to type in your address and you type in Pennsylvania Avenue?
I mean, I have given them my profile. My guy is the person that I use. The persona that I've created is straight out of Compton, actually. It's good.
Get out of Compton, yo.
Poor Brian says he did a survey yesterday and it screwed him over. I'd love to hear the story. I mean, I've been screwed over plenty of times. I've gone and done like a 2-hour survey and gotten jack shit from it. And then I've also gone and spent 3 hours downloading malware for Runecoins. I've done it all. It almost feels I say it every time I read one of these, but it almost feels like it's time for another Earn Runecoins video. See how many viruses I can install. Apparently, I said I didn't buy a brand at one point. Then I remembered I did later on in the survey, and as soon as I detected that inconsistency, boom, survey over. Yeah, they catch you on shit like that, right? Like they just like you've been taking the survey for 2 hours. You might not remember what you said an hour and a half ago. It can be really rough trying to do those. Anyway, I completed the survey fully, he says. A small progress bar at the bottom vowed to that, as this page confirming beyond a shadow of a doubt that I had completed the survey. The offer wall confirmed that I would have to wait 15 minutes to see my keys, and 30 minutes later, I still did not have my keys. Cool. I felt like I expected this, especially after so many of the offers were tricks to not ever get to that illustrious you finished the quiz page that will be your cash out. But it interests me that Jagex, or whoever runs the goddamn offer wall that's universal to every online game of this type, wouldn't have at least some aspect of quality assurance. Oh, no. No quality assurance for you. Why would you ever do those offers to make someone else money off of your time when there's not even a reasonable expectation of getting what is promised for it? Those offer walls are literally the digital equivalent to claw games. To those claw games that you try to pick up like an iPhone out of with the claw, and the claw has
skill test, that kind of thing.
Yeah, the claw has no like torque to it whatsoever. It couldn't pick up a fucking wet napkin if it tried. But, you put the $20 in anyway thinking you have a chance to get this freaking iPhone. No, you don't. I actually played one of those once at an airport. Anyway, so yeah, I felt like I was gonna be mad.
How'd you go?
I lost $20. I'm gonna be pissed. I said, I quote, "I'm going to be pissed if this survey is a scam," but I can't help to laugh at the ridiculousness of it all. It's such all malicious crap, and it's really sad to see that Jagex would run such a thing on their website. Like, even if Jagex absolves all of their own liability to the programs and offers by stating up front that they have nothing to do with them, and even if they really have nothing to do with them, of which I have no doubt, Jagex, the fact that they are willingly taking money to provide this portal to the bullshit side of the internet is really disappointing. Especially in this day and age of the internet, where I'd hope that people are more savvy and smart to these kinds of shisty tricks. You'd wish, you'd hope, you'd think, but no. Virtual machines allowing you to get keys and Runecoins without infecting the host. Yes. Good.
I think it's one of the most embarrassing things that Jagex does as a company. Honestly, I think it's kind of disgraceful because it's even though we joke that it's 2017 and everyone should be computer literate. Like, just think about what if your mom or dad started playing RuneScape? Like, none of them are going to know that any of these are going to be malicious or scams. Yeah. And even people from our generation, it's like, yeah, you only need to get scammed once to lose $500 from your credit card or all the PayPal scams that happen. Yeah. It's just like, not everyone knows about these things, and I'm sure hundreds, maybe thousands of dollars have been lost. People have lost their machines to viruses, and I think it's really embarrassing that Jagex allows this stuff to be on their website. I think it's
kind of insulting. Like, in my opinion, it's kind of insulting to do this to your player base.
When I saw your original video, Mage, when I saw all those malware stuff going onto your virtual machine, I felt physically sick that Jagex would allow this.
Right?
Absolutely.
I agree.
I'll
step in.
It's kind of sad that they are just openly allowing this on their stream. Morning, Brandon. How you doing? But yeah, it's sad that they allow this on their site, and that they, I mean, if you spend the time and you are safe about it, you can actually earn Runecoins / keys. I personally never tried keys, but I'm sure you could earn keys if you really wanted to. But the amount of time and effort you're going to put into this, you could literally make money probably faster on Amazon's Mechanical Turk service, and then just spend that on keys instead. Like, there are legitimate services to make money on the internet that are going to give you the payout legitimately that then you can use for whatever purposes you want, instead of taking your time and wasting it on these offer walls. And maybe I have to make another video to hammer that point across, but I love posts like this specifically for that. And again, if you want to make money online and you want to do menial, boring tasks and get paid almost nothing for it, sign up for Amazon's Mechanical Turk service. Then you can save up that money and use it on keys. You can even use it directly from Amazon to purchase this. I'm not sponsored by Amazon, but I've used that service before as just a online moneymaker in desperate times. So if you're really desperate for some keys or something, check out that service instead and do something useful instead of wasting your time on these offers. Anyway,
maybe Amazon should come to you and you guys could work out some sort of sponsorship. Every time you mention the word Amazon, that's a little bit extra money in the pocket.
There's so many companies that should come to me for sponsorship that,
There you go. Like Jagex or something.
So let me finish up this post here. He says, clicking the Get Help link takes you to a pending page that shows my pending offers. All of them I had clicked out of upon seeing they were scams were viewed, and only one had just fully completed was the same. Refreshing the Your Pending Key 0 meter about 20 times, of course, over the course of 30 minutes, and waited. And whilst writing this very post, there's still 0. No keys. So, if you haven't done these offers before, there you go. I just summarized the experience for you, and now you know to stay away. If you have done these offers before, then maybe you can at least find some relatability in my experience, or, seeing as this is Reddit, I'll probably get mocked for being butthurt about expecting free keys. Oh well. You know what? This deserves a giant upvote for me, as far as I'm concerned. This post has been fantastic. He continues on and breaks down pros and cons of the list, so I'll read them out.
There is no pros to this.
He's got 2 pros here. He says, pros. Got to feel like I was contributing to an actual survey asking about my opinions. So he felt like his opinion mattered for maybe a bit. And he learned that male ducks are called drakes, at least according to a quiz I took. So he learned something.
There are drakes in RuneScape, you...
Cons: waited 2 to 3 hours. Wasted 2 to 3 hours of my time. Absolutely hate the idea of mattresses now. May sleep on floor.
That's pretty good.
That is pretty good. I'm glad he wrote that. Didn't get any keys regardless of completion of tasks prescribed. Feel like a scam artist victim. Feel like a piece of virtual cattle that's been herded into the slaughterhouse of abused data. Update! He has an update, though. I tried accessing the same quiz after finishing this post to see if it'd tell me to fuck off. And surprise, it basically did! This is basically what they meant by some of the users may not be qualified for the survey. I thought they meant that females or individuals under the age of 18 wouldn't qualify, as they had warned. Not that they had happily accept all of my information, then determine I was unworthy of my rewards. Yep, no, that's what they do. They take as much information as they possibly can, and then they decide that, nah, you're not worthy. Hey, G-Master, how you doing? Thanks to the inspiration of our Jagex approved methods for super rewards, is proud to offer the new Reddit offer wall. This he's getting into a little
And
parody.
you forgot the 4 trademarks in the middle of all that.
Yeah, he's going into a little parody here. Just answer these 5 simple questions for 50 billion keys. What's your RuneScape name? Password?
Tim.
What's your account security questions? Yeah, funny man. I should go check out that offer wall after this and see if it's changed. Maybe it's time to boot up the old VM and take it up the butt. Anyway, that is the final post we had for today's show. Actually, ending.
That was a good post to end it on for sure. I mean, for me, I think the 3 most serious things that are hurting the community right now are bullying, gambling, and this particular kind of thing where Jagex, for all intents and purposes, in my opinion, is functionally sponsoring this stuff. They may claim to wash their hands of it, but
yeah, you can't.
When you put your product on there, you can't. As far as I'm concerned, you're sponsoring it.
If you slap your logo on something, you can't be like, no, wait.
Yeah.
We have nothing to do with that, actually.
So I think this show covered 2 of the 3 most serious topics. I think so. That's pretty good.
It's been a good show for sure. And that is not even half of the topics that we still have on par coming up on the Friday edition of RuneScape
Hey,
Weekly.
can I just mention something? What about all the April Fool's stuff that Jagex did on the
was
1st
good.
of April?
It was, I mean, all right. First of all, one thing that I haven't actually said that you actually just reminded me is I actually got the Hunter pet during the April Fool's joke. So nobody congratulated me.
That's because we didn't know if it was legit or not.
I know. I just thought that was so ironic. It's like everyone's getting spam faked pets. On the off chance I caught an Origami out here and it gave me Ace. Which was just really like I've been doing divination for how long, and I finally
that's hilarious.
It's also great because I got the pet right before I hit 120, so I don't have to worry. And it's not even the right skill. I got the pet in a different skill, but whatever. I have the pet in both of them now. But when is your 120 divination party stream planned? It's pretty much going to be whenever I have 1,000,000 XP left. So right now, roughly, let's take a look at RuneClan, shall we? I think roughly, I've been able to get about 1.5 million XP a day in divination, I think. Let's take a look. And if that's correct, then we can pretty much figure out when the party will be. So yeah, it's about let's be safe and say 1.2 million. So I have.
Are you doing caches for the last few days, or are you still allergic to caches?
I will do caches if I'm on for like if someone I don't know. I haven't done caches if that's your question. I guess that should be the straight answer. Is no, I haven't done caches.
Getting 120 div without caches is pretty baller. That's impressive.
It is impressive. Is one word. Some people would call it idiotic. I'll take impressive. Congrats on the pet. Thank you very much. I have 3 pets. I think now 3 skilling pets now.
I wouldn't believe it, right? When I started up with 0, obviously you guys already had like 2 or 3. I've now got 5 of them.
Yeah, what the hell? That's some luck right there. That's you have. So you have the
man.
Jack.
I think the last one I got.
The
last one I
trade
got, I
style
think, was
then, right?
Ramsey. I think Ramsey, the cooking pet, was the last
congrats
one.
on Ramsey. I'm probably going to get Ramsey next, to be honest with you. Once divination is finished, I'm just going to bang out 120 cooking, just like real quick. Yeah, well, thank you for the congratulations. I appreciate it.
Congratulations, by the way.
We're looking at about 6 days, I think, from when I'm able to gather here. So probably next like Tuesday or Monday is probably.
I only have Herbert so far, but I can never complain about pet luck again since I got a Vitalis.
Yeah.
I'm
You're
I'm good to go for life on
you're
pet luck.
that makes you like one of like less than 200 people or something, or less than like 1,000. How many people have?
It's Reeves is still a little bit rare, but within about a month, Vitalis will once again be the rarest pet, and it's rarer than all the skilling pets.
Yeah, well, hell yeah. So I would say, yeah, probably next Tuesday, maybe Monday if I can go hardcore. Basically, just keep an eye on your. I know this is hard for people who have lives, unlike myself, but keep an eye on your social media, and basically, when you see a stream called 120 Divination Party imminent, I'll basically be streaming for like, I would assume probably 8 hours. Because
what is this thing you call a life? I don't understand. That's you.
I don't have one, but some people do. And I don't know. I don't envy them. They sound very, very monotonous and difficult and painful. But
I mean, they're certainly not getting 120 divs. I don't know what they're doing.
Yeah, if you're not getting 120 div, you're just doing your life wrong. No, but in all seriousness, yeah. So like when that stream goes live, I mean, you'll have a good like 8 hours to situate yourself, because I'm gonna stream the last million XP, which is it's 150k an hour, like at best. So that's gonna be like a 6-hour stream. Granted, I have about 400 and something Chronicles bank, which is a good like 400 and something K experience, so it's not as long as it sounds like it's gonna be. But it'll be pretty long of a stream, and we'll just chill. We'll do an impromptu kind of like relaxed RuneScape Weekly, basically, is what will happen. So
yeah, I'll go on there and just do Livid Farm the whole time.
Yeah, you'll just rub in the fact that I'm horrible at doing comp requirements. Yeah.
I mean, it's not horrible. It's like you choose not to do things that make you unhappy. That seems.
I mean, it's a good. I mean, good life choices, I suppose, is not doing things that make you unhappy. But again, life is also, I think, part of life is doing things that make you unhappy, right? I don't know. It'll get done eventually, slowly but surely. I know I'm gonna get a lot of shit if I don't comp this year, though. Like I'm pretty sure people are gonna make fun of me again, like harder than before. I've just been putting it off for so long, and I'm doing little bits here and there, but not nearly enough. Anyway, Magebucks code for today again. If you haven't had a chance to grab your Magebucks, is DIZK. If you are looking to collect, that's 2,500. I'll get words eventually. Magebucks, if you are on the Magebucks scene, there are your Magebucks for this show today. Anyway, anything else anyone wants to 420, 120 divs? There will be a live stream on 420. I promise you that. And I promise you it will be ridiculous. We will be doing...
just like the one we did last year.
I think we might do... Oh, well, it falls on a Thursday, which is a non-show day. So I think what we're going to do is maybe Stone Drago. We'll try that.
Oh, I'll do that. Yeah, let's do some 420 Virago.
Do some 420 Virago. I'm just going to do a bunch of stuff that I'm already bad at, only I'm also going to smoke. So I'm going to be even worse.
Oh, that sounds awesome.
Yeah, so it'll be an interesting experience for 420 this year. I've also thought about buying some edibles and having donation goals, and I'll just start eating edibles depending on how, when we hit certain donation goals.
What kind of edibles?
Weed edibles. But
oh my god,
that is still up for debate because that could get dangerous. I don't want to end up in another quadesting stream.
Where's the toaster?
I mean, so we'll see. We'll see what happens. If people want to see me get stupid, we can maybe do that. I know some people are into that, some people aren't. I mean, if I did, it would be towards the end of the stream, and there would be some. I'm in for that.
You should do. Okay, here's an idea. We go to Virago. Every time you eat a rocktail, you have to take a bite of it.
Shove the chocolate bar. Yeah, I'll have my webcam on and everything so people can see it. I'm not going to be able to obviously monetize this video because there will be. I would say at that point that's recreational use, so I can't monetize that. But yeah, I'm okay with a little recreational use on 420, I suppose. So yeah, we'll do that. If people are interested, I'll do donation goals. Like every $20 that gets donated, I'll eat the equivalent in milligrams of THC. I don't know. We'll see. That can get expensive. That's why there has to be donation goals for that, because that shit, it's like $30 for 100 milligrams still in Massachusetts. So yeah, we'll see. 420 is still a little while away. So if you have any ideas of things you'd like to see for the 420 stream, PM me, email me, Discord me. Yeah.
You do raids too.
Yeah, I'll do anything. I will do anything people want on 420. I will be basically, if you've been saving up your Magebucks, that's going to be the time to spend your Magebucks, because I will be taking requests to basically do anything, and I will be dank as fuck. So it'll be It'll be probably a joke of a time, but it will be fun. Hopefully I'll see you around, DX, because that'll just be funny to interact. It'll be good. Go stream to Xvideo. Yeah, we might have to stream on like Vimeo or something. No, I know for a fact I can stream on YouTube and Twitch. Twitch is a little more of an issue with that type of stuff. You're not supposed to, like, you can use, especially if you have like a license to do so, but you can use on Twitch, but it's not supposed to be the focus of the stream cannot be that.
Yeah, but they'll make an exception for April 20th.
I really hope they do, considering that it's completely legal and it's medically prescribed. To me, I won't have an issue with it, but
Twitch is woke like that.
I hope so. I mean, I see people getting fucking wasted on Twitch all the time, so we'll see.
I mean, Hippie does dab sessions where like he does hard mode Virago, and between kills he dabs.
That's insane. I've never dabbed before, I'll be honest, but I am a super lightweight. I have some sort of genetic deficiency somewhere, so THC hits me way harder than most people, and I cannot build a tolerance to it. So I'm not one of those like hardcore smokers that can pound back like a 1 gram dab and be like, yo, dude, and I'll be on the floor like dead.
I mean, that's probably good anyways. It's probably not super healthy to dab all the time.
No, it's probably not. And moderation is the key for everything, right? One day a year is okay to get a little bit crazy, but it's definitely not something you should do on a regular basis, for sure. RuneScape Weekly does not condone recreational drug use, for sure. Remember, kids, drugs are bad. Okay, where's the flag? Am I red or blue? Why do you look like a rock? Man, if we did that to you, that would be interesting.
Imagine if you did that with an augmented armor that has the hallucinating effect as well.
Oh, well, I want to, before this gets any danker, I want to, try to keep the dankness nice and fresh for the 420 episode. Let's keep it contained. We're going to close down the show for this episode. That's been a really good show. And if you enjoyed it, there are plenty of ways to catch up on past episodes of RuneScape Weekly. Also, real quick, PSA, X, Y, and Z names have now been officially released, so if you were looking for a name that began with X, Y, or Z, now's your chance to get it. DX, the more accurate thing to say would be drugs are a very touchy subject, yeah. So, again, thank you for tuning into this edition of RuneScape Weekly. There's plenty of more content to go. If you want to find out when we go live, you can find us on social media. Boy, do we have social media for you. We got a Facebook page for you, facebook.com/RSWeekly. You can like us there, find out when we're going live, or lots of other stuff. Twitter, got Twitter for you as well, @RSWeekly on Twitter. Discord channel for you as well, of course, discord.runeweek.com. The number one best way to get in contact with us is Discord, of course. I'm always on Discord. Mobile Discord, desktop Discord. There's not a moment I'm not on Discord. Easiest way to get in contact with me, for sure. And, of course, if you would, please take the time to rate us and review us in iTunes or whatever podcast aggregator you use to obtain the show. If you're watching this live via YouTube or Twitch or Facebook or something, please like the stream, leave a comment. We love having feedback from our listeners, so definitely engage us. We love engaging comments. You can join us in-game as well if you'd like. We got a clan chat available for you. Clan chat, Kill, Skill, and Chill. And I do want to make an announcement for clan chat, Kill, Skill, and Chill. We are now officially launching the clan skilling month thing. Brain, please work. Show not over yet. We are doing skill of the month for April, and to much of my chagrin, skill of the month of April is dungeoneering, and there are multiple prize points to be won here. First place, 10 million gold. Second place is 5 million gold, and third place is 1 million gold. You must be a member of the clan to participate. And this is active as of pretty much right now. So get dungeoning if you're in the clan. And if you want to join the clan to participate, please PM me or any of the clan heads, basically. Anyone with a key or an admin rank, if you'd like to join the clan. You can guest in the clan, of course, as well. Kill, Skill, the letter N, Chill, or clan.runeweek.com is where you can check out our Rune Clan rankings and all that fun stuff. You want to help out the show? You really like what we're doing here? You want to keep it going? Well, good. You can help us out at patreon.com/RuneScape. Patreon.com/RuneScape is our Patreon page. You can go there and support us on a monthly basis. You can support us as little as $1 a month, all the way up to whatever you really want. You can get bonus content. We release things at all patron levels. I just released recently a rough, very, very, very rough draft of the next RuneScape Weekly wrap that we're going to be doing. Or I am doing for 1,500 YouTube subscribers, which will hopefully happen someday subscribe to the YouTube channel. But yeah, we're working on that. I released a very, very, very rough draft. It's very, very poor quality, but if you want to listen to it, that's patreon.com/RuneScape. You can listen to it at any donation level. But if you want to get past seasons of Elite shows and current Elite shows, which is bonus shows, you can start that at $3 a month, and they go up from there. So that's patreon.com/RuneScape. You want to tip the show as well? We have a one-time tip line available for you, which allows you to tip the show as well as send in little informational posts as well. So if there's something you want to say on the show or whatnot, you can do so via tip.runeweek.com. And of course, all tips are currently going to support PVM Perspective, our new podcast produced by Harley and Dave, and it is fantastic. And if you need pro PVM information, that is the place for you. And we'll be airing a new episode, I believe, this week coming up.
Yeah, we recorded it yesterday, and Harley is currently fast at work editing it. Just so everyone knows, we're planning on doing a Q&A / feedback podcast soon. And so if people wanted to get any questions answered, especially regarding what we talked about the first two shows, please let me know in Discord, or I'm sure if you spam Mage or the general chat, it'll get forwarded to us somehow. So
Yeah.
we definitely appreciate that.
Anything sent to the YouTube channel or my email or anything like that, I will make sure it gets to the right source. But of course, I think the easiest way to communicate with anyone is just Discord. But hey, if you're not a fan of Discord, you can use email, you can use in-game, you can use Twitter, Facebook, whatever makes you happy. I'm super looking forward to episode 2. And I believe if all goes according to plan, it will air tomorrow at some point in time, basically when I get home.
Yep.
So looking forward to that. And of course, we have our upgrades page and shop that I should probably talk about still real quick. So our shop, that's for Runecoins. Wow. Magecoins. Yeah. I am on freaking topic today. So Magebucks is our virtual currency, and you can spend it in our shop.runeweek.com. You can get past seasons of Runescape Weekly Elite. You can change the subject matter on a skilling show, for instance, like the 420 show. You can use your Magebucks to change what we're doing that way. You can commission videos. You can commission live streams. If there's a live stream you want to see, if there's a video you want us to make, all are purchasable with your Magebucks that you've been collecting. And you can spend those in the shop.runeweek.com. That's our rewards program. Got an upgrades page for you as well if you want to help us improve the studio. We are currently moving things around in this stage. I'm just getting things kind of organized in a new setup and getting things reoriented. But I really want to get some cameras mounted and whatnot. So if you're interested in helping us get the upgrade set, upgrades.runeweek.com is where you can go. That's our Amazon wish list. And of course, a big special thanks to our top Patreon supporters, including Rune Group, Keski, Swagatorix, Alex W, Danny H, Kevin H, Olgunner, Hamstringing, Sudwood, Godly Fury, and Tyler. Thank you so much for your ongoing patronage. It means the world to me to be able to produce the show on a regular basis, and we would not be able to do so if it wasn't for our patrons. So thank you very much. That means not only our top patrons, but patrons of all levels. And of course, if you've joined us live or after the fact, thank you so much for listening, because again, what's a podcast without its audience? So again, a big special thanks to everyone who's taken the time to come out and watch this live. And of course, everyone who's watching and listening after the fact, thank you so much for taking the time to do that as well. Hope you enjoyed the show. We will be back on Friday for another edition of Runescape Weekly, live at 9 a.m. Eastern Daylight Savings Time if you want to catch the show live after the fact on Facebook, YouTube, etc. podcast feed. You got it. Anyway, that's going to do it for this episode of Runescape Weekly. Until next time, and as always, happy scaping.